What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back WIH second part of What If Naruto Exiled Konoha Goes to War. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description box to original creator of this beautiful cretin. Sasuke, please, come back, you're like a brother to me. I don't want to lose you. We are currently witnessing an intense battle between Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. I never knew you felt that way, Naruto. You don't have to seek revenge. The power of revenge is strong. But the power of love and friendship is stronger. You don't understand, Naruto. You don't understand what it's like to have your family taken away from you. My parents died protecting me at birth, Sasuke. And if I lose you... Yes, our favorite knucklehead ninja knows about his parents. He's actually smarter than everyone thinks he is. Fine, I'll come back, but you might have to carry me. Naruto chuckles and picks up his friend, who had just passed out. Being careful of the two Chidori holes in his chest. To think it took 2 strikes to my chest to convince him. Naruto Uzumaki starts heading to the village gates, slowly but surely, hoping to be praised for completing the mission to bring Sasuke back. But slowly as he nears the gates he sees the sneers the villagers are sending his way. He starts talking only to be interrupted by a screaming band. Sorry, let me do that again. Only to get interrupted by Sakura Haruno fangirl to Sasuke. Hey Sakura, you baka, what did you do to Sasuke-kun? You injured him. But Sakura-chan, he injured me more. He gets interrupted by a punch to his chest right in between his 2 Chidori holes. I never asked you to bring him back half dead. The villagers are right, you are a demon. As Naruto heard that hated word his whole world shattered. He never expected Sakura to be like this. True, he could clearly tell she didn't like him, mainly by multiple punches to the head, but could Kami be so cruel as to curse him this way? Naruto started to realize Sakura never liked him, even as a friend. The mask he sought so perfectly create shattered instantly. Then maybe you shouldn't have made this demon promise you to bring him back. Naruto's eyes flashed red, but stopped when he saw the civilian council smirking smugly. Naruto Uzumaki, you are hereby banished by order of the council. Please, hand over your Leaf Village headband. Kit, run now while you have the chance. Naruto looks up sharply, revealing red-slitted eyes. Everyone gasps, thinking the Kyuubi might have taken control. You want me gone so badly? Go to hell, Konoha. Naruto takes out a kunai and slashes the symbol on his headband. He then puts the kunai in his mouth, making multiple hand signs, disappearing not to be seen for years. Lady Tsunade, Ato, Kiri, and Kumo have just declared war with Konoha. Are you sure, Sakura? Tsunade asks, hoping it to be a sick prank of some kind. Positive, ma'am, Sakura says, nodding, worry shown in her eyes. Dear God, what do we do? Tsunade holds her head in her hands. Maybe ask Suna? No, they cut the alliance with us when the damn council banished Naruto. Tsunade-sama. A figure enters the room, revealing to be Kakashi Hatake. Yes? I have an idea. Hope fills Tsunade's eyes. What? Kakashi takes out his bingo book and opens it to a specific page. Tsunade reads it out loud. Bingo book. Page 17. Rank. Z rank. Name. Unknown. Nickname. The Crimson Kitsune. Affiliation. Hidden Leaf, Rouge. Age. Around 16. Group. No. Bounty. 50 million Ryo. Appearance. Unknown. Gender. Male. Powers. Unknown. Kills. Too many to count. Warning. Do not approach unless Kage Sanin level. You think this Crimson Kitsune would accept being hired to protect us? Sakura asks skeptically. I believe it's worth a shot. I'll have Jiraiya send the letter. The scene changes to a little hut in the forest, with a little garden. Jiraiya knocks on the door. Yes? A masked? This is what the mask looks like. Also he wears a white mask underneath, similar to Kakashi's. Man asks, opening the door. You have mail, Kitsune-san. He hands Kitsune a letter, and he opens it. Dear Crimson Kitsune, we are asking you to help us in the upcoming war against Ato, Kiri, and Kumo. We will pay you Hans Omli for your services. If you accept this request, please be at the Konoha gates in 2 days. Sincerely, Tsunade, the 5th Hokage. Seems like Konoha needs me. Yes, Kitsune-san, they do. So, they expect me back in 2 days? Hi. Kitsune gets a thoughtful look, or at least that's what it looked like. You can't really tell, 'cause of the mask. I'm going to pack and we'll leave when I'm done. Meanwhile, help yourself to some food. He says, gesturing towards Jiraiya, telling him to enter. Arigato, brat. Time skip 2 days. When they arrive, Crimson Kitsune's POV. We're here. Kitsune says, slowing down, eventually stopping. Do you need time, kid? Jiraiya asks me. No, Jiraiya-san, I'll be fine. I reply. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Hey, why is Jiraiya acting like that towards him? Does he know him? Well, the answer to that is, yes. Yes, he does. And yet you readers don't. And who am I kidding? You probably guessed it by now. They actually know each other quite well and are on good terms. If you're sure, kid. Jiraiya sighs and starts walking again. I can do this, I mutter to myself, and start following Jiraiya. Soon we see the Konoha gates and people waiting at them. Shit, do people really want my help that much? Yes. If they find out who I am, they will be pissed. I say, worry in my voice. Tsunade revealed your heritage. I stare at Jiraiya in disbelief. You kidding me? I ask, skepticism taking over. Nope. Well, fuck, how'd they react? They were scared on how they treated you. Jiraiya says, amused. I snort. Do they think that I'll come back from the grave and haunt them? I ask, waving my hands in a mocking fashion. Ah, so you know about that. Course. I'm not that clueless, am I? I say in mock hurt. Come on, you're the smartest man I know. Damn right. I mutter, making Jiraiya chuckle. We arrive at the gates. Stop. Calm down, Kotetsu. It's just me and Kitsune-san. Jiraiya says. Hokage-sama. They're here. Kotetsu yells at the crowd, making a figure approach the front of the crowd. Welcome to Konohagakure, Tsunade says. HMPH. I respond emotionlessly. Seriously, Kitsune-san, show some emotion. Jiraiya whines, making me hit him on the head, resulting in him face planting on the ground for being an idiot. I see you're acquainted with Jiraiya. Unfortunately. Hey, Jiraiya yells, jumping up, of course getting ignored. How much you paying me? I ask, getting straight to the point. Wow, that was fast. I didn't expect you to ask till I told you the extent of the job. Tsunade says, bewildered. I don't care what the job is, just tell me how much money I'll be making. I say, getting annoyed. How does 500,000 ryo sound? Not enough. I say, making Tsunade look pissed. What do you mean not enough? She yells, a few veins on her forehead popping. In the background, everyone looked as if they're going to piss themselves. You're having me go against Otto, Kumo, and Kiri. I'll only accept at least 1 million ryo. She looks as if she is contemplating the answer. Fine, but since we don't have enough money right now, we'll owe you, deal? She asks, taking out her hand. Deal. I say, smugly shaking her hand. I'll get your living arrangements handled, so you can wander around the village for a bit. Tsunade says, walking away. Hey, Jiraiya-san? I ask, resulting in him looking at me. Yeah? He responds. Mind showing me around? Not at all, kid. He responds. Excuse me, Jiraiya-san? A girl with bright pink hair wearing, well, pink, asks. Why do you call Kitsune-san, kid? She asks. Well, Sakura, he's your age, that's why. He says, resulting in gasps among the crowd, which for some reason are still here. How can a Z-rank rouge be 18? She asks, shocked. It's called training, you baka. I say, butting into their conversation. The now identified Sakura looks at me and scowls. Training can't do that, she screeches idiotically, resulting in all the ninja, including me and Jiraiya, to sweat drop. Jiraiya, please tell me the ninja aren't as idiotic as her. I ask, looking at Jiraiya, who is still sweat dropping. He gets out of his Sakura's an idiot trance and looks at me. No, all of them are intelligent enough, except Sakura. I sweat drop at that answer, sighing in disappointment. Come on, let's go eat. I need something to take my mind off of the simple-mindedness of this village. Jiraiya sweat drops and follows me. He suddenly asks me something once we are away from the crowd. You're acting crabbier than usual. He mutters. Not my fault, you know where I am. I respond, getting annoyed. Whose fault is it that you accepted the offer? Who was it that gave me the damn offer at my doorway? Jiraiya remains silent and looks away. Thought so. Let's just get some ramen, you needed to calm down. Haven't had decent ramen in ages. I respond almost dreamily, causing him to sweat drop, again. Damn it, why did I have to accept the damn offer? I could have just been like, no. Instead of accepting it. Baka. Shut up, you fuzzball. I scowl. He annoying you? Jiraiya asks, raising his brow. He called me a baka. I deadpan, causing Jiraiya to sweat drop. What is it with Jiraiya today? He is sweat dropping more than usual. Let's just go eat and wait for Tsunade to summon you. This better be worth it. So, what's the first part of my job? I ask Tsunade, who had just summoned me to her office. We are still waiting for a few ninja to come, she says. And right on cue the door opens, revealing a gray-haired man wearing a black face mask on his face and a headband covering his left eye, followed by a black-haired kid my age, who right behind him had a fangirling Sakura. Team 7. Tsunade starts addressing the three. You are being assigned a scouting and infiltration mission with Kitsune-san here being the leader. She says, much to my satisfaction and to the annoyance of the others. Tsunade-sama, why isn't Kakashi-sensei the leader? Sakura asks. Well, Kitsune-san is a Z-rank Rouge, so I should give him a little respect. She says, making me smirk. What's the mission details, Hokage-san? I ask, getting into my no-nonsense mission mode. You will be going to a base 60 miles south of Konoha. We have suspicions that is where Otto are planning their attack. I want you four to go in without being noticed, and find any plans for attacking Konoha. She continues. Hi, we all shout. Let's meet at the southern gates in an hour. I say, sun shining away. 1 hour later. You all ready? I ask everyone, resulting in a nod. We start running and eventually end up leaping in the trees. Nay, Kitsune-san? Sakura asks, surprisingly being polite. I respond emotionlessly, looking back at her. Can you tell us about yourself? She asks. You tell me about yourselves, I do the same. I respond, ticking her off. She calms down and starts introducing herself. My name is Sakura Haruno. My likes are syrup-coated anko dumplings, word puzzles, and training with my master Tsunade-sama. My dislikes are spicy things and Ino Yamanaka. I'm a medic nin, chunin level. I look at Uchiha who HNS. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. My likes are tomatoes, training, and a friend. My dislikes, anything sweet. I'm a long-range type, Junin. I look at Kakashi who smiles at me. My name is Kakashi Hitaki. My likes are Icha Icha. My dislikes, anything sweet. I have no specific range, special Junin. Everyone stares at me and I start to zone out a bit before focusing again. My real name I won't give. Most know me as the Crimson Kitsune. My likes, training and ramen. My dislikes are Icha Icha, assholes, rapists, and a certain group. Short and mid-range, Rouge mercenary. They all look at me, still basically knowing nothing about me. Besides the fact that I have a long list of things and people I dislike. By the way, I notice you three look like you know each other well, as if you were on the same team as Jenin. If so, shouldn't you have another teammate? They gained sad looks. Well, it's a interesting story actually. Sakura starts. It started with me running away from the village for power. Sasuke starts. My best friend, Naruto Uzumaki, had beat me and stopped me. We were only Genin back then, so I couldn't do anything to what would happen to him. He starts looking forward with a blank expression. Once Naruto had returned to the village, the council without person of the Hokage banished him. Kakashi says sadly. Why did they banish him? I ask, wanting to hear how the story ends. Well, he was a Jinchuriki. Sakura says sadly. I think for a moment. Wait, did you say Uzumaki? I ask, stopping in step, looking at them. They stop as well, looking at me confused. Yeah, why? Sasuke says cautiously. I know the Naruto Uzumaki you're talking about. They look at me wide-eyed. We thought he was dead? They yell. Nah, he's alive. I say, waving my hand like I hadn't just scared two Junin and a Chunin. Where is he? Sasuke asks. Why do you want to know? I ask skeptically. I had plunged 2 Chidori holes in his chest the last time I saw him. He managed to convince me to come back. He's my friend, and I miss him. Sasuke says, resulting in shock from the others. Holy crap, never thought I would see the day when an Uchiha is genuinely showing emotions. I joke, trying to ease the dark mood. Shut up, Chandaro. Sakura yells. Where is he? Sasuke asks again. I'll tell y'all after the mission, with Tsunade-san and Naruto's past friends. I say and start jumping again. Well, I don't understand what all the fuss is about. I say, being dragged but Sakura into the Hokage's office. What's going on? Tsunade asks, raising her brow in questioning. I have no clue, Tsuande. Sakura here just decided to drag me here. I say, looking bored. And why did you let her? Well, we still have to report about the mission. I say, resulting in Sakura sweat dropping. Tsunade-sama. Kistune-san says Naruto-kun is alive. Sakura screams, resulting in Tsunade to get wide-eyed. She was about to respond when Sasuke and Kakashi enter the room. Can I get on with the mission report now? I stop, of course, getting interrupted by Tsunade, who leaps at me and holds me by my collar on the wall. I sweat drop. What do you know about Naruto? She screams, making me half-deaf. Nay, shouldn't all of his past friends be here to hear? I say, hoping to Kami this crazy cage would put me down. Anbu, summon the remaining Konoha 11. And their senseis, she screams using chakra in her voice. In the background I can hear things falling. Kami, this woman scares me. I mutter. Nay, shouldn't Jiraiya be here too? I mean, he also knows about Naruto. I say, smirking as Tsunade releases me and slams open her desk and activates a seal. Suddenly, probably due to the seal, Jiraiya appears, face planting on the floor. Hey, what the hell? I was busy doing research. He says, straightening. He looks at Tsunade to see fire in her eyes. Why didn't you tell me Naruto was alive? She screams at him. How the hell do you know that? He asks, his eyes look at me and he deadpans. Never mind. What you looking at me for? I ask, glaring at him. What did you tell them? He asks. Just that he's alive. I say, getting a knowing look from Jiraiya. Naruto-kun, is alive? I turn to the doorway to see what I assumed to be the rest of the Konoha 11 along with Junin, who I guess are their senseis. The one who spoke appears to be a pale-eyed girl with cobalt-colored hair. Tsunade, before I continue, would you mind introducing me? Kitsune, this is Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame, and Kiba Inuzuka along with their sensei Kurenai Yuhi. Those four over there are Lee Rock, Neji Hyuga, and Tenten along with their sensei Guy Might. And last but not least Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akamichi along with their sensei Asuma Sarutobi. Also, that man over there is Iruka Amino. Everyone, this is Crimson Kitsune. Now Kitsune, you bastard, talk. I sweat drop. What a nice way to tell me to start talking, Tsunade. I say, sarcasm written in my voice. I don't mean to intrude, but why were we called here, Hokage-sama? Ino asks, nervous from the amount of killer intent we have aimed at each other. Kitsune here says that Naruto Uzumaki is alive. Tsunade yells, probably still mad at Jiraiya, resulting in gasps from everyone. I don't know why that surprises you people. Uzumaki is an excellent shinobi. I say, angered at their lack of confidence. Calm down, Kitsune. They're just surprised since they thought he was dead when he didn't appear for such a long time. Jiraiya says, trying to clam me down. Of course, in response I scoff. Tell us about Naruto. And then you can tell us where to find him so we can drag his ass back to the village. Kiba yells arrogantly. Why do you think he would want to come back? I say, making them confused. What do you mean? Kurenai asks. Well, he doesn't have a good history with Konoha, you know. I say, making them look even more confused. Choji says, confused. Tsunade. I look at her in disappointment. You haven't told them about this? I get even more enraged. Look, I forgot, okay. I was drowning my sorrows in sake. She screams, tears at the corner of her eyes. How could you forget to tell them about how he was treated as a child? I yell. What do you mean, Kitsune-san? Sakura asks. Sasuke looks down sadly. Uchiha seems to know, judging by his sorrowful look. But I'll tell you anyway. I look at them seriously. Whenever Naruto was a child, the villagers would always beat him up. They called him a demon. They also threw him out of stores and he was forced to wear a kill me orange jumpsuit. And that's the sugar-coated version. I say, resulting in them getting wide-eyed. Where is Naruto? Kakashi asks. Why should I tell you? I tell you, and you could be assassinating him the next minute. Everyone gasps. We would never do that, Hinata yells. Oh yeah? Tell me, what do you think of him? He was like a son to me. Iruka starts. He was my crush and inspiration. Hinata continues. He was my rival. Lee adds. He opened my eyes to the real world. Neji adds. He helped me so many times I couldn't count how many. Tenten says. He showed me arrogance isn't what it's cracked up to be. Kiba says. He never made fun of my bugs. Shino adds, surprising the group. I respected him for his smarts, even though no one else could see it but me. Shikamaru adds, surprising the group anymore. He was the only one who wouldn't call me fat. Choji says. He never gave me any reason to hate him. Ino adds. He was a good kid who always had a smile on his face. Asuma and Kurena say, he kept his promise to me. A foolish one, I regret asking him. Sakura adds, I never trained him as a proper sensei should, and I regret that. Kakashi adds, he considered me a best friend, yet I shoved 2 Chidoris into him, I need to apologize. Sasuke says, surprising everyone. He was like my grandson. Tsunade says, surprising everyone yet again. I see no ill will. I say, still being cautious. Should I? Do it, Kit. Right, Kitsune-san? Please tell me where he is. Sasuke asks, begging me. Calm down. He's closer than you think, Teme. Naruto? Sasuke asks, staring at me widely. I ask, staring at them emotionless. How? Why? Sasuke asks, still confused. I sweat drop at his non-Uchiha-like attitude. Didn't expect you to stutter like Banshee when she always asked you out. I say, snapping Sasuke out of whatever he was in, and he snickers at Sakura, who is clearly the Banshee. Naruto? I turn around to see Tsunade. Why did you never come back? She asks in a small voice. Tisk, you can't blame me for not wanting to come back, Tsunade. You know how much of a hell this was to me. I took the chance and left. But did you really believe we would hurt you? She asks in a hurt tone. I didn't know what to expect. I knew you would reveal my Jinchuriki status. I had to be prepared for something to happen. I look at her jokefully, though I didn't expect you to reveal my heritage. That one's quite the shocker. Do you hate any of us, Naruto? Sasuke asks. The others look at me hopeful. I only hate one of you. I reply, making them look scared. Who? Kakashi asks nervously. Oh, it's just Haruno. I say, venom in my voice at the mention of her name. What? Why do you hate me, Naruto? Sakura asks wide-eyed. Did you ever wonder why I looked so heartbroken when I left? She nods. You broke my heart. She starts to cry. You looked at me and called me a demon. My eyes start to flash red. Just because Sasuke had minor wounds on him. What kind of friend does that? The minute you called me a demon, I realized you never liked me. Even as a friend, do you know what it feels like? I flip her off. Fuck you. I sigh, my eyes returning to normal. Got it out of your system? Jiraiya asks as I nod. Sakura breaks down on the floor crying. Too harsh? Nah, she deserves it, Kit. You're right, she probably does. You probably should have toned it down a bit though. He says, resulting in me cheeing. Hey, Naruto? I look at Sasuke. Why are you acting similar to how I did in my genin days? I pause and sweat drop. I never really noticed. This time Sasuke's sweat drops. Naruto? Tsunade asks, scared. Yeah? I ask, confused on her scared tone. She hands me a paper and I scroll through it, eyes widening. I start to cry and shake a little, gaining Jiraiya's notice. He looks over and his eyes widen at the sheet of paper in my hand. Tsunade. The hell? He screams, backing away. What is it? Kakashi asks, not moving away from Sakura, who he is trying to comfort. I stop shaking and hand the paper to Sasuke. He scrolls through it. Holy crap, he screams, dropping the paper like it's hot lava. He stares at me and I stare at him back. Kakashi moves toward the paper and looks at it, reading it out loud. I, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, announce my dear friend Makoto to be my son Naruto's godmother. Then the next page says, I, Makoto Uchiha, announce my dear friend Kushina to be my son Sasuke's godmother, the last page. This is the written proof that Naruto and Sasuke are godbrothers. He says in shock. I start crying. I look at Sasuke to see him crying too. We all gasp in shock. Why the hell didn't we know this? I turn to Tsunade, tears streaming down my face. I was going to tell you after the Sasuke retrieval mission. But the council went behind my back and banished you. I put my hand on my face and try to calm down. Funny, isn't it, Naruto? Sasuke says quietly. I turn to him, peeking out from under my hand. What? I ask quietly. At the Valley of End, you referred to me as your brother. He smirks slightly. I look at him and remove my hands from and smile. Jiraiya gasps. Gee Gaki, why, you actually smiled. He beams in joy. I laugh, tears in my eyes. I haven't laughed since I left Konoha. Damn it, Sasuke, you're making me soft. I look at Sasuke, amused. Ramen? He asks, handing me my masks. Of course. We go to the doors. We'll be back later, Ba-chan. We'll be back later, Ba-chan. As I leave the room with Sasuke, I can hear Tsunade crying in joy of the old nickname. You know, everyone missed you a lot. Sasuke says as we walk to eat Shiraku ramen. I know, I can tell. I look around me and spot the Hokage tower with everyone still in it. I'm thinking I'll stay for a while. What do you think? I look at him to see him smirking. You can stay at my place. No objections, he says, going into his arrogant Uchiha mode. Hey, there's that Uchiha blood kicking in. I say, smirking. Shut up, and let's get ramen. 1 hour later. We should probably go back now, he says, as we leave Ichiraku's sounding a bit sad. Yeah, but who says we can't walk slowly? I say, smirking. In result, cheering him up. So, he says, once we start walking, tell me about your love life? I look at him. That's really what you want to know? He looks at me seriously and nods. I sweat drop. I admit, I do have a girlfriend. He smirks, probably thinking that he has something over my head. And, well, her name is Yukiheim. I look at him. That's all I'll say for now. You know, safety reasons. I silently gesture to the villagers who act as if they aren't listening. Well, we're here. Oh, and maybe keep my girlfriend a secret? He raises his brow but nods anyway. I knock on the door. Enter. I hear a voice yell. We're back. I say, emotionless. Again. I look around the room to see Sakura, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Tsunade here. Finally. What the hell took you so long, Gaki? Jiraiya asks me. Oh, nothing, just spending time with the Teme. It's not like when you told me you are my godfather. I just punched you into next week. Jiraiya looks thoughtful. He gains a dreamy look. Ah, good times, he says, resulting in everyone sweat dropping, even Sakura, who looks less heartbroken. Naruto? Tsunade asks cautiously. Don't tell me, another relative I don't know about? I think sarcastically. It would be funny to watch you fume. Shut it, you furball. I ask, caution in my voice. You also have another godmother. I stare at her annoyed and twitch. Damn it, who? Me. I look at her pissed. I can't legally punch you since you're the Hokage. Can I? She sweat drops and shakes her head in denial. Wow, Naruto. Today's just not your day, is it? Sasuke asks, deadpanning. It never is. And I seriously mean never. Ha 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 ha, cough cough shit. Cough cough asterisk. Huh, who would have thought? You literally choked on your laughter. Cough, shut up, Kit. I snicker. Why are you snickering, Naruto? I look at Tsunade. Fuck. I stare at her. He can talk to the Kyuubi. I stare at Jiraiya in shock. Damn it, Jiraiya. You can't just say that. I yell at him. Why not? You just can't. I scream. What did the Kyuubi say? Sasuke asks. Well, he was laughing at my misfortune, and he suddenly started choking on his laughter. I look at Sasuke, and he sweat drops. Seriously? Tsunade asks, deadpanning. I never knew a demon could choke on his own laughter. Sasuke says, trailing off. I shrug. Yeah. Cue awkward silence. Anyways, Tsunade-sama, I want Naruto to live with me in the Uchiha compound. Sasuke says, breaking the awkward silence. Sure. And Tsunade? She looks at me. Should we, reveal my identity? She looks at me and stares. Well, you'll probably scare the shit out of the villagers, sure. She says, definitely happy to scare the shit out of people. I sweat drop. When should we do it? Let's do it in an hour. She says cheerfully, clapping her hands together. Don't you need more time then? Anbu. She screams, resulting in Anbu appearing out of nowhere. I want you to announce that there is going to be a surprise for the village. In around an hour. I want everybody who is in the village currently to be there. Also, someone needs to set up the microphone. Now go. They disappear, leaving us alone. You probably scared the shit out of them. I say, sweat dropping. I don't care. Anyway, go get ready. She yells. I'm pretty much already ready. I say as Jiraiya and Sasuke nod. Now let's watch the Anbu set up the microphone. While we chat about Naruto's girlfriend. I stare at her in shock. Suddenly I turn and glare at Jiraiya. Hee, funny story. He says nervously. Seals, now. I say as he immediately goes to activate the silencing seals. He looks nervously at me. Now Naruto, tell me about your girlfriend. Tsunade screams excitedly. Her name is Yukiheim Korikodomo. Tsunade gapes at me. Holy crap, she's a Korikodomo? Yes. Damn, you picked a nice one. Their clan is practically extinct. Sasuke raises his brow. Who are the Korikodomo? They are the main branch of the Yuki clan. I explain. Wait, you mean Haku's clan? Yeah, where is she, Naruto? I want to meet her. Tsunade yells excited. I'll have her come here tomorrow. Good, now let's get back to the preparations. Tsunade says, nodding to Jiraiya. He deactivates the silencing seals and we leave the room going to the top of the Hokage Tower. What an interesting turn of events. Attention! Tsunade screams at the people underneath us. I am leaning on the rail near her, who are bickering like children. Hearing her yell, they go silent and pay attention. Now that's how you silence a crowd, Gaki. Jiraiya says, resulting in me sweat dropping. I have found evidence that Naruto Uzumaki is still alive. The crowd goes silent, then it breaks the people questioning how it's possible. Shut up, she yells, having enough of their yelling. They quiet again. I have asked the sources. She glances at me. If Naruto Uzumaki wants to come back. After a bit of persuasion, he agreed. Cheers erupt among the crowd. Actually, he's already here. More cheers. Naruto? She asks me, putting a hand on the microphone. Ready? I think so. Funny story, actually. He came here as Crimson Kitsune. Suddenly, all at once, the villagers and ninjas' heads moved towards me. Crap, now they're looking at me. Suck it up, Kit. Fuck you. Hi? I say, waving slightly, uncertain of what to do at this point. They gape at me. God damn it. Do something. Why won't my body freaking move? Man, Kit. Your luck just sucks. Shut up or no hunting. Kitsune-san, is it true? A villager screams. I take off my masks and let down my hood. The villagers look at me to see my famed blonde hair, now with red tips, and bold whisker marks on my face. It is true. A ninja screams. Kid, you look like you're nervous. Jiraiya says, walking up to me. Wouldn't you be? He sighs and nods. I sweat drop. Not helping. I say, glaring at him. He shrugs. Namikaze-san, will you be taking the council seat? An old man walks up to me. The hell? Dad had a council seat? Maybe? I say, confused. Don't worry, brat, we'll take care of it. Tsunade says, putting her hand on my shoulder. I sigh in distress. I hope Yuki-chan gets here soon. I mumble, looking out at the crowd, who look like they are going to annoy the hell out of me. Come on, Gaki. Let's go get some lunch. Jiraiya says, leading, more like dragging, me away. Thank God. I sigh in relief. Relieved to be away from the villagers? Could it be you're afraid? He raises his brow sassily. Well, no. I'm not really sure why, but I feel tense around them. Probably because of my childhood. But still, I've been gone for 6 years. I shouldn't feel like this. I say, ranting about my feelings. Gaki, I know it's tough. But you can't just expect for your feelings to go take a hike. He says, annoying me unto no end. If they start acting as if they have cared their whole life about me, I swear to Kami I will get pissed. I say, looking at the villagers who are staring at me. Hey, you still got some who are villagers that didn't think you were a demon. He points out. That's right, Ayama-san and Tucci-san. He sweat drops. Figures the ramen chefs would like you. He mutters, still sweat dropping. That's just, Kami, making sure my life isn't complete shit. I say, resulting in Jiraiya sighing in disappointment. We arrive at Ichiraku Ramen and I enter, resulting in a gasp. I look at the noise to see Ayame looking at me with wide eyes. Hello, Ayama-ni-chan. I say as her eyes grow wider than they already were. En Naruto-kun? She asks, looking like she has seen a ghost. HN? I ask, raising my brow. So the rumors were true. She says, smiling. Hey dad, get your butt in here. I sweat drop at her. Unique personality. Nice to see you've still got your spunk. An old man says, soon, looking at me and getting wide-eyed. Yes, I think I'll definitely need to start making ramen again. Jiraiya sweat drops. I sit down and immediately a bowl of ramen is placed in front of me. Damn, that was quick. I say, once again sweat dropping. You haven't lost your appetite, have you, Naruto-kun? Tucci asks, raising his brow. I lift the bowl to my mouth, quickly eating it, and place it back, shocking Jiraiya. Oh no, I haven't. I say, smiling mischieviously. Tucci and Ayame get stars in their eyes. Yata, we're gonna be rich. They yell, immediately making more ramen. I pull out a scroll and open it, revealing some sealing mechanism. I activate it and out comes a big bag of money. Their eyes grow wide as I put the scroll away and seal the money in Gama-chan. And it's his froggy wallet, if you didn't know. Oh, how I've missed this ramen. The next morning, Kit, I look over to see a man with red hair and orange eyes, picture up top. Yes, Kurama? Guess what the summons are calling you? He smirks mischievously. What did you do? I ask, narrowing my eyes at him. Hey, I asked you first. He pointing his finger at me. Okay fine, I don't know. Now, what did you do? He sweat drops. I didn't do anything. He whines, before getting serious. The summons are calling you the Fox Prince. I look at him in disbelief. The fuck? I scream, looking at him with wide eyes. Well, he took it better than I thought. He says to himself, sighing, look, kid. Eventually, thanks to the seal on your stomach, my chakra will dissipate and combine with yours, making you the new Kyuubi. But to make sure you don't die from taking in all my chakra, I need to merge with you. Of course, after you become the Kyuubi, you will be called the King of Foxes. Hokage's Tower, no POV. Well, Jiraiya, what do you think? Tsunade asks. It looks like a stable plan, but we the Gaki to come take a look at it, just in case of any problems we might have missed. Before Tsunade could retort, into the office barges Naruto and a man with red hair and orange eyes. No way, Kurama. Naruto screams, walking towards the couch. But, kid, you have to fucking do it. Be a man, you wimp. Tsunade gains a tick mark, and Jiraiya sweat drops. No way am I merging with you. I might get a freaking tail. Fuck you. Naruto flips him off. And fuck you once more for good measure. He says, flipping him off again. What the hell is going on? Tsunade yells, finally losing her temper. Naruto looks at them. I didn't realize we were here already. He says, deadpanning. Jiraiya's sweat drops. Kid, what were you and Kurama arguing about this time? Tsunade looks at Jiraiya, surprised to see him used to such behavior. Oh, nothing, just the fact that my bastard father put a seal that would eventually make me the fucking Kyuubi. He screams, shocking Tsunade and Jiraiya. Kid, this is why we need to merge. If you don't merge with me, my consciousness will disappear and you might die from the amount of chakra. Merging would give you a steady flow of demon chakra, making sure you don't fucking die. Kurama screams, killer intent being thrown at Naruto, who gives it back full force. Anbu decide to appear, but seeing the situation they leave quietly. I hate to interrupt. Tsunade says, resulting in everyone looking at her. But who is Kurama? Tsunade, meet the Kyuubi. Naruto says, gesturing towards Kurama. Kid, what's wrong with the seal? Jiraiya asks curiously. Nothing, except for the fact that my dad apparently fucked up, and screwed his son to become the demon he sealed in him in the first place. Naruto says semi-calmly. They gape at him. Well, shit. Jiraiya says, having no words to describe the moment. Naruto sits down and gains a thoughtful look on his face. Naruto's POV. I sit down only to start thinking. What will happen if I become the new Kyuubi? Will I grow tails like Kurama? Should I actually merge with him? If I do end up merging, how long will it be before I become the new Kyuubi? What will my friends think? What will Yuki-chan think? My body starts taking sharp breaths. Kurama's POV. Shit. I yell, going towards Naruto, who looks as if he is having a panic attack. What the hell is happening? Tsunade screams, worry-laced in her voice. Kurama, what is going on? Jiraiya screams, scared. He's having a fucking panic attack, that's what. I yell at them. I hug Naruto, rubbing circles into his back. Shish. It's okay, kid. You're fine. You're fine. Calm down, please. Tsunade looks at me, surprised by my soft tone. Come on, kid. Calm down, please. Naruto's breath slowed down to normal, but he sits still, shaking. I release him. That's right, kid. Everything's fine. See? Naruto looks around and tears form in his eyes. I pull him close, his body shakes with sobs. Damn it, kid. I shouldn't have told you this in Konoha. I should have known this would be too stressful. Fuck. I scold myself, hand on my face in sorrow. Why didn't you tell me Naruto has panic attacks? Jiraiya asks, looking at Naruto sadly. He told me not to worry you more. I reply, once Naruto's shaking stops and his breathing returns to normal. I lay him down on the couch, seeing him asleep. Yukihime-san should be here a little after noon. He should be awake before then. I morph into a chibi nine-tailed fox and lay on top of Naruto's stomach. Wake him and you die. I say, using my demonic voice. Guess he didn't take it better than I thought. Naruto's POV. I slowly open my eyes to see the Hokage's office. I blink, slowly registering what happened. I start to get up in shock, only to stop seeing Kurama in his adorable chibi form. Like the pic above, sleeping on my stomach. I smiled gently at him and look around the room again. Strange, no one is here. I mumble. I check the clock on the wall and it reads 1 p.m. I think about what happened before I passed out. Crap. I yell, waking Kurama up. What is it, Kit? He mumbles lazily, opening his eyes. I stare at him. Panic attack? I ask him, resulting in a nod. I gently lift him and place him on my head. Where we going? He asks, still sleeping. To the gates to see if Yuki-chan is here. She should be here in an hour. He immediately gets fully awake. Yuki-san? But isn't she supposed to be here at 1:30? He asks, confused. I point to the clock as he registers the time. Oh, well, let's go. And maybe buy her some dango, you know how much she likes that. As we walk out of the tower, I can see the villagers look at me out of the corner of their eyes. Some still don't like me, I see. I mutter. Probably, cause I'm on your head, Kit. Kurama says, lowering more into my hair. I reach the dango shop and order 5 sticks of dango. Hey, Naruto. I look to see a purple-haired woman yelling my name. Kurama ducks into my hair, completely disappearing. Do I know you? I ask, confused. I was the second proctor for your Chunin exams. She says. I look at her more closely and I remember her. Oh yeah, Anko Mitarashi, right? You were kind of creepy. I deadpan. Why does everyone say that about me? I sweat drop at that comment. Anyways, I never thought I'd see you in a dango shop. I thought you like ramen? I'm getting it for my girlfriend. I say quietly so the people around us, pretending not to listen, don't hear. You have a girlfriend? She asks, surprised. I nod. Here's your order, Namikaze-san. The waitress places my order down in front of me and I grab it, getting up. Hey, don't you want to chat more? Anko says, looking upset. I have to meet my girlfriend, she'll be here in a bit. Maybe next time. I leave quickly, going away from the weird vibes she is giving. Kurama lifts his head up. Wow, Kit, you even get the older girls, He says, smirking, and I sigh dejectedly. Shut up, Kurama. I mutter so only he can hear. I arrive at the north gate and walk out. Hey, where you going, kid? I turn, again, to see Katetsu and Azumo. I'm going to meet my girlfriend. I said I would meet her outside of the north gate. I say and start walking. Be careful, kid, Azumo warns. You don't know who could be out there. I look at them, eyes smiling. I'll be fine. They don't call me the Crimson Kitsune for nothing. I say, running off before anyone could stop me. Finally, those nosy people are starting to annoy me. Kurama mutters, getting off my head and jumping in the trees along with me. I look at Kurama to see him transform to around the size of a huge dog. Everything annoys you, Kurama. I say, deadpanning. Well, not everything, there's Yuki-san. And? You? No, that doesn't work. I sometimes annoy you. Of course, usually it's on purpose, but nonetheless it doesn't count. He sweat drops. Damn you, kid. He sighs. See, I'm annoying you. He gains a tick mark. Shut up, he yells. Well, at least if Yuki-chan is already there, she will hear your screaming. I mutter. What was that? Kurama yells. Nothing, nothing. I mutter. I arrive at the log cabin we agreed to meet at and notice a shadowy figure at the door. Why, hello, Naruto-kun. Why, hello, Naruto-kun. I turn around to see a long, black-haired girl with green eyes and purple glasses. She wears a pink winter coat. Also wearing red, high-heel boots. Yuki-chan, I yell, running to hug her. As I hug her, she smiles and hugs me back. What am I, chopped liver? Kurama asks behind me. I let go of her and glare at him. Shut up, you fox. I haven't seen her in weeks. Well, neither have I. Kurama says, looking like he likes pissing me off. Which honestly, he probably does. Come on, boys. I turn, listening to Yukihime's melodic voice. Stop fighting, she says, crossing her arms. Sorry. Me and Kurama mumble. Now, Naruto, let's go to Konoha, that way you can introduce me to your friends. She says cheerfully. I smile lightly and nod. Tsunade's POV. Katetsu, Azumo. You two are so lazy. I yell, scolding them. I stop SCO. Ding them, hearing footsteps behind me. I turn to see Naruto and some girl, who I'm guessing is his girlfriend. Followed by Kurama in a bigger form than last I saw. Naruto, is this your girlfriend? I ask once they come within hearing range. Yes. Tsunade, meet Yukihime Kurokidomo, my lovely girlfriend. I smile brightly at her. Yuki-chan, meet Tsunade Senji, my godmother. She looks at surprise at me before smiling. Welcome to Konoha, Yukihime-san. I say politely. Please, there's no need for formalities, she says, shaking her hands in nervousness. Naruto chuckles. Come on, Tsunade, why do you always have to use formalities? He asks, shaking his head in amusement. Because it's polite, I answer, crossing my arms. Sure, he says skeptically. Naruto's POV. Sure, I say skeptically. Tsunade gains a tick mark, but does nothing. Come on Yuki-chan, let's go someplace where no one can interrupt us. After lunch I'll introduce you to my friends. Kurama puffs back into my mindscape, leaving me alone with Yuki-chan. I shunshin us to the Uchiha compound near where theirs is a big lake. I had already sent a clone to set us up and it had dispelled a while ago. On top of the lake there is a long square piece of wood with a black blanket over it. Candles can be seen levitating in the wind. I pick her up bridal style, resulting in a squeak from Yuki-chan. I jump over to the water and leap onto the wood. I set her down gently and her eyes widen in surprise at the beauty of the set. Naruto-kun, this is so beautiful, she screams, smiling broadly. All for you, I say romantically. She looks at me skeptically but then gets a mischievous look on her face. I know you're hiding something important, but I don't care right now. Let's just eat and take a swim. Maybe not in that order. She takes off her boots and dress to reveal a two-piece, pink swimsuit. Do you always wear a swimsuit? I ask, sweat dropping. Maybe, she answers mysteriously. She walks onto the water, where she steps, turns to ice and turns back when she's off. I follow her using chakra to walk on the water. Once she reaches the center she jumps in. I watch as she resurfaces. She makes hand motions and somehow I get thrown into the water. Shit, I scream, resurfacing. I cough, breathing air that I so crucially need. The hell, Yuki-chan? She giggles. That is for not telling me whatever you're no telling me. She says smartly. I'll tell you later. I'm just really nervous about it. She pouts. Fine, she says, agreeing. Now come here you. She leaps at me, kissing me, and kiss her back. 5 minutes later, we finally break the kiss. Damn, whatever you're hiding must really be big news. Yuki-chan pants. Yeah, it is, I say, looking down. She looks at me worriedly. You had another panic attack, didn't you? I nod, resulting in a sigh. But, that's not all. I say, trailing off. Holy shit, there's more? She asks, looking scared. I'll just tell you later, let's eat. Whatever it is won't affect our relationship. Everyone here? I ask, looking towards the Konoha 11, with their senseis and Iruka, who had joined us in Tsunade's office. Yes Gaki, everyone's here. Jiraiya says, turning my attention to him and Tsunade, who are standing behind the Hokage's desk. I'll go get her, I say, walking out of the room towards the room right next to it, on the right. Yuki-chan. Time to meet everyone. She come out in her usual attire, the high-heel red boots with a pink dress, coat. Let's go. I open the door to the Hokage's office and lead her in. Everyone looks at her and she blushes from the attention. Hi, she says, timidly waving. Guys, this is my girlfriend, Yukihime Kurokidomo. I say, slightly smiling. So this is your girlfriend? Sasuke says, impressed. Yuki-chan, meet my godbrother, Sasuke Uchiha. I gesture towards Sasuke and she gets wide-eyed before smiling widely. Nice to meet, Cha. She says, finally coming out of her slightly shy shell. Hello, Yukihime. Jiraiya says, making her turn to him. Ah, Jiraiya-san, she says, running to hug him, as he chuckles and hugs her back. Anyway, should we get on to the important stuff, Tsunade? I say, emphasizing the word important, and gesturing towards my stomach, making sure no one but her and Jiraiya notice. You sure you want to tell them, kid? Jiraiya says, looking worried, of course gaining confused looks from the others. Tell us what, Naruto-kun? Yuki-chan asks curiously. Well, it's about the thing I said I would talk to you later about. I say, trailing off. She gains a worried look. What could make you panic so much? She questions to herself. I look down, my bangs covering my eyes. Well, Naruto, you don't have to tell us. It's not like there's going to be drastic changes, right? Kiba says, looking at my sad face. Right, I'm not entirely sure. I say nervously. Gaki, just summon Kurama here if you feel nervous. Tsunade says. I make some unknown hand signs and Kurama in his chibi nine tails form. What the hell, Kit? I was in the middle of winning a card game with one of my clones. I sweat drop, as does everyone else in the room, Anbu included. He looks around and sees the situation. Oh, what's going on, Kit? I'm telling them. Shit, you are? He looks at me crazily. I was hoping you could help me? He looks at me deadpanning. Terrified? I nod. He sighs in defeat. Fine. Thank Kami. I mutter under my breath. Listen up brats. I'm the Kyuubi no Kitsune. He yells, resulting in gasps. And Kit here is being a wimp. I glare at him. Put yourself in my situation, you bastard. I yell at him. He looks at me with a tick mark on his head. Why you? Boys. I turn to Yuki. Sorry. We mutter. I look at the others to see them gaping like fish. Now Kurama, just fucking say it already. I want to know what has Naruto-kun so upset. She pouts. Everyone's sweat drops at her. Bipolar personality. Well, you see, since Naruto's father fucked up on the seal. Eventually, my chakra will combine with his, and he will become the new Kyuubi. Since there's a chance he might die from it, I suggested that we should merge. But he was like, no. What if I get a tail or something? Although, now that I think about it, you might get a tail, kid. He says, directing the last part towards me. Damn it, I don't want a fucking tail. I scream, banging my head on the wall. Naruto. I stop and look towards Yuki-chan. So this is why you were so worried about telling me earlier. Yeah, I say, my voice unnoticeably cracking. I look away, tears slowly forming in my eyes. Naruto, you know this won't affect us, right? I look at her. And yes, I'm sure. I look at her and she, seeing the tears dripping down my face, runs to me, hugging me. I hastily wipe the tears from my eyes and look towards the others. Naruto, we will never hate you. Iruka says gently. I show a genuine smile. Well, at least if I die, I'll be happy. Alright, Kit, you ready? Kurama asks me. You have the seals up, right? I ask, looking around the room. Tsunade's letting us use the room for the merging. I had cleaned out the room except for a few chairs. Yes, if you scream it won't be heard. He says, deadpanning. I take a deep breath and walk towards the middle of the room and sat down in a meditating position. I enter my mindscape. I look around to see water, lots of it, and a big cage, all inside of a sewer. Man, I really should clean this place up. I mutter. Yes, you should. I hear a bellowing voice resound out of the barred area. What should I do now, Kurama? I ask, looking at the bars of my mindscape. You see the seal placed on the middle bar? Use the water in your mindscape and go up there. Then rip the top half of the seal off. Got it. I close my eyes, imagining the water lifting me. I open them and see the seal in front of me. I slowly rip off the top half of the seal and the gates crack open. Come into the cage, Kit. I follow Kurama's extremely loud voice into the cage, walking up to him, the scary, nine-tailed fox. What now, furball? I ask, annoying him. We fist bump, but it isn't that easy. You'll feel a pull and you need to release some of your chakra into that pull and then pull back as hard as you can, got it? Hi. We fist bump and I feel the pull. Gathering chakra, I allow some of my chakra to slip in. Choosing a right time, I yank back the chakra and I feel Kurama's chakra enter my body, not giving me a cloak. Crap, I feel pain all over my body and I kneel on the ground. You okay, Kit? I hear Kurama's voice echoing around me. I struggle to respond. My body feels like shit. I say, slowly catching my breath, still being in pain. Well, you should feel like that for a few hours. But you'll also be unconscious in the real world. My chibi form has already deactivated the seals, seeing as you're unconscious. I'm taking you to your friends as we speak. Hey Kurama? I ask, being able to talk normal again. Kit, thank you. I realize how I never really thank you for being here for me. Ever since I was a kid. Oh, Kit, stop with the mushy stuff already. I only did that because the villagers treated you worse than I got treated. How is that? Well, they threw jutsus at. But you were only 3. And they were torturing you. Those bastards. Kurama, you're my first friend. Thank you, furball. I say, sincerity in my voice. Oh, come here, Kit. He gestures me to lay beside him, and I do. Just like the old days, my friend? I say, remembering how he did this to comfort me when I was little. Of course. He trails off, reliving the memory. You should get some rest, Kit. You're going to need it. He says, trying to get me to go to sleep. Okay. I probably pushed too much chakra. Anyway. I look at Kurama's smiling face and drift off into a deep slumber. Hey demon, brat. I turn to see my younger self being chased by a mob of villagers. Huh, must be a dream. Aha. The villagers corner younger me in an alleyway. Or a memory. Why does this seem so familiar? P, please. D, don't hurt me. My younger self cries in vain. As if we wouldn't hurt you, you demon. I don't see why the Hokage keeps you alive. He should just kill you. The insults go on as they start to take out things such as knives and alcohol. I know I've seen this somewhere before. Why is this memory so familiar? The villagers cut, stab, wound and use anything they can to torture younger me. Younger Naruto passes out and the scene changes into a watery sewer. The younger me looks around terrified. Hello? Is anybody there? He asks timidly. I remember this day. My 3rd birthday. Hello, little human. Who's there? I am the Kyuubi no Kitsune. My younger self and I look through the bars of the cage to see a 9-tailed fox looking at us curiously. Wait, that mean that you're sealed inside of me? That must be why they hate me. You're smart for your age, aren't you? That's what Gigi says. But, hey, what's your name? I mean it can't be Kyuubi, can it? The fox looks shocked. Interesting human. No container has ever asked me this before. And for a mere 3-year-old child to do it astounds me of the human's idiotic nature. My name's Kurama, what's yours, kid? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My younger self says in a calm tone. That day I met Kurama, my first friend. I slowly start to open my eyes, groaning. Kurama was right, I would need the rest. I think, closing my eyes gently, wanting to sleep more. Get the hell up, Kit. Well good. Whatever it is right now, to you too. It's morning, you've slept for 13 hours. I sharply open my eyes and look around for a clock. I see one and it reads, 7:19. Wow, I don't think I've ever slept that much. I think amazed. And, Kit, you might want to turn around. I have a tail, don't I? Just turn around. I look behind me to see multiple tails coming out of my lower back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Kurama. I scream. Pick above, Kit? He asks, sounding frightened. Why the hell do I have 9 tails? I scream at him, entering my mindscape glaring at the cowering form of a fox. You might have pulled out lots of excessive chakra. You mean I pulled more than necessary? I ask, lowering my head. I'm impressed you managed it actually, it's really hard to do that. He says, probably trying to cheer me up. That does not cheer me up, Kurama. I glare at him. I can show you a jutsu that can hide 8 of the tails. He says, still looking like he shit himself. What? I say, surprised, my killer intent vanishing, which I hadn't noticed was there in the first place. The jutsu is called Demon Style, Kakusu Teru. To release the jutsu you need to say, Demon Style, Kaiho Teru. He calms down a little. Any hand signs? He shakes his head in denial. I'm guessing a release of chakra? He nods. Maybe around the amount of experience Genin has. I nod, exiting my mindscape. I look around the room to see it's a different one than before on the bed. Demon Style, Kakusu Teru. I whisper, releasing a bit of my chakra. 8 of the tails disappear, leaving me with 1 tail. I hear someone fall and rush up to the room. The door opens and I see Sasuke rush in. He stares at me, then looks at my tail. Huh, you did get a tail. He says, deadpanning. Actually I got 9, but I scared Kurama so much he gave me a jutsu to hide 8 of them. Sasuke stares at me. How did you manage to scare a tailed beast? He asks, looking bewildered. I shrug in response. He probably gave me some of his killer intent with the merge. Or maybe he just didn't want to mess with a 9-tailed kitsune? I say, asking myself the last sentence. Well, everyone's worried about you. Really? I raise my brow. Well, you have been out cold for like 13 hours. He says, probably expecting I would freak out. Well, let's go see them then. But could you maybe just reverse summon me? But in an hour though, I need a shower. I take out one of my scrolls and open it, revealing many tiny scrolls, medium scrolls, and a few big ones. I grab the biggest one and hand it to Sasuke. Use this one. I seal most of the others back in and look at Sasuke, who is staring wide-eyed. How the hell do you have so many scrolls? He asks, trying not to yell in surprise. I picked them up from around the elemental nations. I was wandering for 6 years, after all. And also, could you maybe not tell anyone about the tails? Just tell them about the one? He nods and turns to leave. By the way, you're in my house, the guest room to be precise. There's ramen somewhere in the cabinets in the downstairs kitchen. He walks out and I wait and hear the door close. I lay back on the bed and groan in discontent. Why me, Cammy, why me? I look at the clock and seeing it reads 7:30, I go into the bathroom and take a shower. Coming out, I open one of my scrolls, one left out earlier, and change into my clothes. Like pic above, except he has a fox mask on his right hip, and a katana on his left. Of course he also only has one tail right now, and his whisker marks are a bit bolder, also having his eyes be a bit slitted. He also has red highlights on the bottom tips of his hair. I reach to one of my other scrolls and from it I take out a snowflake necklace, and put it on next to Tsunade's necklace. Opening parenthesis. I look at the clock to see it reads 8 o'clock. I put my scrolls away, into one small scroll which I put into my pocket, and go out of the room towards where I can see the stairs. I walk downstairs and search the cupboards for ramen. Finding it I put it in the microwave waiting for 3 minutes, then taking it out and eating it. I sigh in happiness and feel something moving on my head. I put down my ramen bowl and walk towards the mirror near the door. I look to see a pair of long, orange ears on my head. Well shit. Yeah, I might have forgot to mention that. I hear Kurama's voice echo in response. Can't I get one normal day? Well, this is annoying, I say, poking at my newly discovered ears. I think it looks good on you, Kit. Imagine all the girls you'll get. Kurama says, appearing behind me. But Yuki-chan might say I'm kawaii, or some shit. I scream, slightly depressed. Just go grab your ramen, you'll probably be summoned in a second. He transforms into his chibi form, jumping on top of my head, and I look at the clock, seeing it reads 8:27. Crap. I hastily grab my ramen and try to lower my ears. I feel a pull and I sit down, closing my eyes, in a criss-cross position and grab at the pulling feeling. I open my eyes to see myself in the Hokage's office, everyone staring at me, or more specifically my tail. Naruto-kun, you're so kawaii. I look at Yuki-chan sulking. Damn it, Kurama, I told you so. I scream, looking above me. Kurama pops into view and scowls at me. Shut up, he growls. I flip him off, stopping hearing a cough. I look up to see Tsunade. Yes? I ask, annoyed. Are you okay? She asks nervously. Besides for probably having anger issues now? Maybe. I shrug, resulting in everyone sweat dropping. Kit, you also have advances hearing now. I hear Kurama say. Fuck. I mumble. Hey, Naruto? Do you think that being a kitsune will affect your taijutsu? Sasuke asks. I hum in thought. Well, if me having advanced hearing isn't a pointer, I don't know what is. I can tell that I might be better at dodging. And having kitsune reflexes already, I think that this is going to be a big boost. I think I might have better dodging ability and better reflexes. I say, thinking about what other mysteries being a kitsune holds. Hey Jiraiya, wanna spar? I ask, my eyes glinting mischievously. He sweats in nervousness. You know last time you beat me, right? He asks, looking nervous, while everyone looks at me in shock. Yes, but this time I won't attack you. Or rather, I will give a warning. It's not like you'll be burnt again. Everyone's sweat drops at my bluntness, including Kurama. I don't know. Don't be a wimp. I yell, knowing it would convince him. Jiraiya glares at me. Oh, you're on. He yells. I clutch my head, resulting in Kurama jumping out. Crap, that's loud. I silently mutter curses under my breath. Oops. Jiraiya says, nervously scratching the back of his head. I relax, taking my hands off my head. Everyone gets wide-eyed at me. Ears? Tsunade asks, shocked. Fuck. I say plainly. Eep. Yuki-chan squeals and passes out. Thus the reason I hid them. I say, sweat dropping at my girlfriend. Let's go. Kakashi says. Right. Training grounds 7, I presume? I ask, resulting in a nod. I pick up Yuki-chan bridal style and Hirishin away to training grounds 7. As I leave, I can hear the disbelieving voices of the Konoha 11. So many fights to be fought. But who will fight them, I wonder? Me versus Jiraiya. You ready, Jiraiya? I ask, looking at Jiraiya, who is standing several feet in front of me. He hesitantly nods. Oh, calm down, we're just testing my agility and stuff. Then I need to try something. He looks on in fear. You starting yet? I can hear Tsunade scream. I quickly look towards her, seeing that she somehow made a stand appear out of nowhere. I look towards Jiraiya, who nods in an assuring manner. I go into my speed stance and watch as Jiraiya goes into his offensive stance. We look towards Tsunade, who is the one who is supposed to start the match. Be warned. I don't know if I'm good at fighting scenes. Please do comment on it. By the way, here's the scenery. Go. She yells and I immediately duck down to dodge a punch from Jiraiya. I roll backwards and stop in a crouching position. Seeing this, Jiraiya backs away. My eyes gain a light, almost invisible, glow of red. I stand up straight, staring him down. Jiraiya jumps at me again with faster speed, aiming a fist to my abdomen. I block the punch, hissing in pain, realizing he laced chakra into the punch. I act quickly and kneed him in the stomach, making him, to my satisfaction, hiss in pain and jump back holding his abdomen. I hit a bit harder now it seems. Jiraiya runs onto the water and I follow in pursuit, as a survival instinct lacing chakra to my feet to stick to the water. Jiraiya suddenly stops, resulting in me stopping too, and he starts making hand signs. Uma. Hubby. Ramu. Monkey. Inishishi. Uma. Tora. Crap. I leap out of the way of a gigantic fireball, and I start skidding on the water, stopping in a more animalistic position. I crouch deep into my kitsune stance, my ears perking up at a sudden noise. I jump up and see Jiraiya pop out of the ground of which I had just been standing. Fireball jutsu as a distraction, I turn midair and aim myself towards the ground. I land in a handstand and flip back on my feet, looking towards where Jiraiya is surfacing from the ground. Much better hearing. If it was like before I might not have heard him. My eyes glow a darker shade of red and go back to cerulean blue. Although returning to their normal color, my eyes grow slitted. Jiraiya narrows his eyes at me in thought, and I notice him looking right out of the corner of my eye. I use my chakra and sense that Jiraiya has a clone sneaking up on me. I charge at Jiraiya, keeping my senses on the hidden clone. Punch. Blocked. Kick. Blocked. Kick. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. I jump away from Jiraiya, who is currently holding his precious jewels. I can sense all the males watching grimace in discomfort. Oops. I mumble, making sure he hears. Fuck, that hurt. He yells, overdramatically. I narrow my eyes at Jiraiya, who poofs out of existence, signaling a cage bunchin. Clone. I turn around to block a punch from Jiraiya, who is in sage mode. Ah, I see you were a clone the whole time. You distracted me so you could get into sage mode. Well, two can play at that game, sensei. But damn, that hurt. I jump back, flipping into back stance, only to suddenly stop and weave a very familiar sign. Kurosu. Cage bunchin no jutsu. Beside me appear 4 shadow clones, one hiding in my shadow. I add lots more chakra to the hidden clone, making him more durable, and I leap at Jiraiya, my clones following me. I subtly switch places with the clone in my shadows and Hirishin away behind some trees, making sure to hide my chakra. I sit down in a meditative position and gather nature energy. After 5 minutes of doing so, I feel my clone's memories coming to me and I stand up, Hira shining behind Jiraiya, aiming a punch at him. He blocks, his eyes widening once he looks at me. If someone were to look at me now, they'd see my eyes now a dark orange, more slitted than before. Along with having what looks like red eyeliner around my eyes. Top. Kitsune Sage. Never knew you became one. Jiraiya says, emitting a proud aura. No time for being proud, Jiraiya-sensei. I look at Jiraiya with my Kitsune Sage eyes, and notice he's starting to gather chakra in his legs. No way are you running away from me. I start to pour a bit of natural energy into my fist, tightening it a bit. Jiraiya notices and narrows his eyes. He moves his feet in an almost unnoticeable way. I release his fist and we start exchanging blow, faster than before, one after the other, neither hitting but still causing damage. I start to slow down a little, and Jiraiya notices. He starts to increase his speed as I start to struggle with each blow. Crap, I don't think I can keep this up for much longer. I add chakra to my swings, in vain, since after a few more blows he hits me and I fly away with great speed. I crash into what looks to be 20 trees. Groaning in discomfort, I stand up and glare at Jiraiya, who is staring at me looking like he is going to shit his pants. My sage mode starts weakening. That hurt, I say, grunting in displeasure. Jiraiya scratches the back of his head sheepishly. I get into an offensive position. Jiraiya notices and gets into a defensive position. I charge at him, purple chakra covering my hand. Purple. That's new. Jiraiya widens his eyes as I gain a new speed. Is this the chakra's doing? I punch him straight in the jaw with my right hand and he flies away, hitting around 30 trees in the process. His sage mode deactivates. Hell yeah, I scream, smiling with pleasure, but narrowing my eyes as I see Jiraiya get up, holding his jaw in his firm grip. I notice blood leaking out from underneath his hands. Holy crap. If this is that chakra's doing, what else is it capable of? I widen my eyes looking at Jiraiya's hands, which he currently is using to put his jaw back in place. I notice slight burns on his hands, which I wonder how he got. Maybe the chakra's a fire type? But seriously, why the hell is it purple? I've never seen purple chakra before. Only blue, green, and red. I think that's enough testing. Jiraiya says, holding his jaw again. I nod numbly, still in thought about the purple chakra. I'm guessing you have no clue what that purple chakra was. I shake my head in denial, slightly scared at what might happen if I don't find out what that chakra is. You gonna ask the fox? I think once Kurama wakes up I'll ask him about it. Last time I woke him up he gave me third-degree burns. I hold my hand and stare at it. Can you help me? I snap out of it and I start to run towards Jiraiya and help him up, propping his arm onto my shoulder. I help him move and then I ninja jump towards where the others are watching wide-eyed. Tsunade, I think you're needed. I say, looking at her while she stares at me wide eyes. She finally gets to her senses and runs over to us, and I gently place Jiraiya on the ground. You okay? I ask, my worry visible in my tone. I'll be fine, he says, making me nod. I lift my right hand up looking towards it. What the hell? How the hell did I do that? What the hell was it? Wah, shut up. I'm trying to sleep here. Well, you're not anymore. I don't care if you give me third-degree burns again. Help me. What is it, Kit? I just used some weird purple chakra. Do you know what it is? Purple. I believe that's your chakra trying to mix together with mine. It seems you might become the new Kyuubi faster than I thought. How long do you think till I become the new Kyuubi? Kit, you've got 2 weeks, at most. What, Naruto? You okay? I look towards Jiraiya, blinking in confusion, then I start to fake a smile. Yeah, I'm fine, why would I be? Naruto. He looks at me firmly. I know one of your fake smiles when I see them. I stop smiling as I look away, lowering my head. I need to leave Konoha for a while. I say nervously. Is it because of that chakra? I nod numbly. What chakra? Kakashi says, butting into the conversation. I stay silent and Jiraiya, getting the hint, does the same. I saw it, Naruto. Tsunade says, looking at me. I look at my hand once more in distress. Tsunade attempts to grab my hand but I quickly pull away. Naruto, whatever it was won't hurt us. Kakashi says. Look what it did to Jiraiya. I hiss, my eyes flashing red. I gasp as I grab my left eye in pain, a bit of blood appearing on my hand. Tsunade gasps and walks over to me and I back away slowly. Naruto, just stay away. I don't know what the hell is happening. I say, distress in my voice. I look towards the other Konoha 11 to see them eavesdropping on our conversation. Naruto, I can hear them mutter. I keep my left hand on my eye and start to dig in my scrolls for my kitsune mask. After opening 2 scrolls, one, find it and put it over my face, successfully hiding my eye from view. I move my mask over, making sure my eye is closed, and I put a cloth over my left eye, then I put my mask back in its correct position. I sigh in relief, trying to calm my nerves. Naruto, where will you go? I stay silent. Fox's Forest. I mutter loud enough for everyone to hear before shining towards Sasuke's house and summoning Kurama. Ready, Kit? He asks, looking at me sadly. Hi, I mutter and my view blackens. Yukiheim's POV, Fox's Forest. I hear Naruto mutter, disappearing. What does he mean by that? Tsunade says, her face showing deep distress. I've never heard him mention it. Jiraiya says, not holding his jaw anymore, seeing as Tsunade has healed it. I look down, hoping not to be looked at, and I start fingering the necklace Naruto gave me, pick up top. Yuki-san, you know, don't you? I look towards Sasuke, worry etched onto my face. I nod numbly. What he meant by Fox's Forest? He's gone to the Fox Summons home. Jiraiya looks at me. Do you know what's happening? He asks. No, I've never seen him this worried before. Usually he's happy or emotionless at least. Never frightened like he looked. I've never seen him that scared either. Jiraiya mutters. Naruto-kun. What's going on? I start to think about earlier. Well, you see, since Naruto's father fucked up on the seal, eventually, my chakra will combine with his, and he will become the new Kyuubi. I gasp in realization and hold my mouth with my hands. Everyone looks at me in confusion. You realized it, didn't you? Jiraiya says, looking like he's figured it out as well. I nod, not able to form words. What is it, you two? Tsunade yells, looking pissed at us. I look down, nervous about what might happen. What? Sasuke asks, putting a comforting hand on my shoulder. I think he's going to become the new Kyuubi faster than we thought. Jiraiya says, resulting in everyone gasping. Do you think he'll come back? Tsunade asks, looking distressed. He will. I say, determined. How can you be sure? Ino asks. He promised to never leave me. It's been 3 weeks since Naruto's been gone, he hasn't sent a single message. I'm starting to get worried. Why hasn't he sent me a message? I turn around, hearing a poof. I look to see a blue fox with 6 white-tipped tails, except with 6 tails. Hello? I ask. Are you Yukiheim? The vixen asks, staring at me as I nod slowly. I was told to report to you and someone called Tsunade. Follow me please. I say, walking towards the Hokage's office, and the vixen jumps on my head. I stop squeaking in surprise before continuing towards the office. As I arrive, I knock on the door and, hearing a "come in," I enter. I see Jiraiya and Tsunade looking at a map. I hate to intrude, but this is important, I say as the unnamed vixen jumps off of my head. Hello Arakachine, Jiraiya says, nodding towards the fox. Hello, Jiraiya-san. Naruto-sama asked me to give you all a message. The fox says cheerfully. What? Is he okay? I ask, looking towards the blue vixen. Yes, he's fine. Allow me to introduce myself. She transforms into a young blue-haired girl with orange eyes, pick up top. My name is Arakachine the 6 Tails, daughter of Kurama the 9 Tails and personal messenger for Naruto-sama. She says, bowing towards Tsunade. What does Naruto have to say? She asks, putting her hands over her mouth. He says he doesn't know when he's going to be back, but it will be soon. And also that he's not in any danger. Well, that's good, I say, calming down a bit. Naruto-sama also said that if I wanted to, I could stay here a day or two. She says cheerfully. And it looks really pretty here. Do you want an escort? As long as it's Yuki-san. She looks nice. She also smells like snow. I like snow. Wow, cheerful. I don't mind, I say calmly. Yay tilde? No one's POV, in a random cave somewhere. Is it done? A deep menacing voice asks. Yeah, we sealed the Hachibi. Another rough voice answers. A person comes into the light, and it shows a man with orange and purple rippled eyes, wearing an Akatsuki cloak. Shall we go onto the Kyuubi? He was last seen in Konoha, a month ago. And they're on high alert right now. Yes. The war ended when we captured the Hachibi. Fools. They think we can be stopped? They SSS seem to think SSSSO, Madara SSSSAMA. Something comes out of the shadows to reveal a pale-faced man, with eyes that of a snake, wearing an Akatsuki cloak. Have all the units attack Konoha. Madara commands as he walks into the light, his face adorning a orange swirl mask, and he too wears an Akatsuki cloak. But sir, Pain says only to be stopped. If the Kyuubi wants to protect the village, he'll show up. And if he doesn't, don't worry, Orochimaru. He will, because his little girlfriend is there. Along with his god-parents and god-brother. You evil master. Orochimaru hisses. Of course, being evil is having power. It's been nice having you here, Era-chan. I say, handing her breakfast. Thank you for having me. She replies cheerfully, before her face grows sad. But I need to leave soon, or mom and daddy are going to get pissed. She crosses her hands on her chest. I'm sure it will be fine, I say, waving it off. Have you seen my daddy pissed? She raises her brow. Yes, but I haven't seen your mother pissed, I say, resulting in her paling. Trust me, it's better to enter the 9 hells than to see her pissed. I stare at her in shock. Really? That bad? That sounds as bad as someone attacking me and Naruto hears about it. She pales even more. That's worse. She deadpans. Wow, your mom sounds nice, I say sarcastically. Wonderfully, she says, also sarcastically. I was about to ask another question, but I'm stopped, as I hear a boom coming from one of the gates. What in the 9 hells was that? Era-chan screams, running out the door, and I follow her to see a giant lion stomping on the village near us. Holy shit, I yell. Hurry, we need to help the civilians. Right behind, yeah. I watch as she turns into a giant 6-tailed fox. Jump on, she tells me, and I hastily obey. She leaps and I find myself in front the Konoha 11. What the hell is going on? I ask, getting off of Arakachine. The Akatsuki are attacking us. Kiba yells. No, I mutter, my eyes wide. Era-chan jumps onto my head, probably trying to protect me. Look out. I turn around to see a fireball coming at me. Ice style. Suno Shirudo. I put my hands up into the air and an ice shield appears and blocks the fireball. Holy crap, that was awesome. Sasuke mutters. Hurry, we need to help the civilians and book it. I say, fear shown on my face. Why? We should fight. Lee yells. Me and Sasuke need to warn Jiraiya-san and Tsunade-san. They're after us. They want Naruto. Then why are they after you? Choji asks. Because you're precious to him. Shikamaru states bluntly. I nod and grab Sasuke's hand. Snow style. Yuki no Kaden. I mutter and snow appears beneath mine and Sasuke's feet and I jump into the air as we walk on the air, or rather snow that's in the middle of the air. I enhance chakra in my feet and Sasuke, understanding, does the same. We quickly reach the Hokage tower and jump to the top, seeing Jiraiya and Tsunade up there. They're after Naruto. I scream. And us, since we're precious to him. Sasuke adds. What do you expect us to do? We weren't expecting any attack. Tsunade screams, clearly panicking. Get a hold of yourself, Tsunade. Jiraiya yells, trying not to slap her. Yuki. I turn to see a black-haired man, with a ponytail adorning the Sharingan eyes. Along with a red-haired man who has purple rippled eyes, being held up by a blue-haired woman. Nagato, Konan. Jiraiya mutters. Jiraiya-sensei. Itachi? Sasuke asks, staring. Ototo. He nods towards Sasuke. What is it, Nagato? I ask, anger-laced in my voice, confusing Tsunade, Jiraiya and Sasuke. We quit the Akatsuki, they have gone too far. Itachi says. Of course they went too far. Konan screams, making all attention go to her. They freaking attacked a major village. We're turning on them. Nagato says quietly. I can tell Naruto appreciates his family not turning on him. I say towards Nagato, who nods. Hokage-sama, we are at your service. Itachi says. Why are you helping Itachi? Jiraiya asks. I may have defected, but my loyalties still lie with Konoha. Right. Itachi, you go with Sasuke and head towards the citizens who are being attacked. Konan. Yuki-san, I assume you two can take care of the huge lion. Arakachine-san, see if you can get Naruto to come here. And Nagato, come here, you're fucking injured. Tsunade says, taking command. Yuki-san, I need your necklace. Era-chan yells. Why? I ask, getting ready to jump to help Konan, who is trying to take down the lion. Naruto-sama said something about it being enchanted. I'll use it to get him here. I try to take it off, but it stays on, so that's what he meant by enchanted. Arakachine mutters. I can hear the lion roar and I get worried. Just reverse summon yourself. I yell as I leave, away into battle. I ninja jump on the rooftops of the buildings that are still standing, hurrying to find Konan. I spot her kneeling on her arms to hold herself up. I jump down to her and lift her up. That thing is tough shit. She states. I hear a crackling sound and I turn to see the lion getting ready to throw up on us. Most likely acid or something. Our eyes grow wide in fear and I do the only thing I can do. Make a shield. Ice style. Kyukyoku no Kori Shirudo. I say, using my strongest shield. I hold the jutsu for a few minutes before I start to notice a few cracks form on the shield. Shit, where is Naruto when you need him? I close my eyes in acceptance, a bit peeved that a summon managed to beat me. I hear my shield crack and I wait for the impact. Hearing none, I cautiously open my eyes to see someone I'm glad is here. A yellow-haired male with fox ears and a foxtail, wearing some kind of open-legged kimono top. Naruto-kun? Naruto-kun? I yell in surprise and relief. Naruto looks at the lion, who looks at him curiously. He growls deeply at him and the lion backs away in fear before unsummoning himself. He looks back to me and smiles lightly. You okay? He asks as I nod in response. His face grows dark. When I find the piece of crap that attacked you, I swear to Kami. He mutters, disappearing. I sweat drop. He's nice. I look towards Konan to see her sweat dropping too. You heard it as well. I state. No, I just think he's nice. She sarcastically says, resulting in me glaring at her. And she glares back. Now's not the time for a glaring contest, you two. I turn to see Arakashine in her human form. Sorry. We mutter, turning away from each other, huffing. Hurry, we need to make sure Naruto-sama doesn't brutally murder someone. Even if they deserve it. She states, resulting in us turning towards her, swear dropping. I sigh. Let's go. Quote. Ino's POV, somewhere else in the village. Where the hell is the piece of crap that attacked Yuki-chan? A voice screams, startling everyone, including the enemy. I guess Naruto's here. I say, sweat dropping. Really, I hadn't guessed. Shikamaru mutters sarcastically. What was that? I scream into his ear. Troublesome. He mutters in reply as I sigh in disappointment. Hey you fuckers. Pay attention. We look back at our enemy to see Hidan, a guy who is immortal and keeps blabbing on and on about his idiotic god Jashin. Go fuck yourself. I yell, glaring at him with all my might. He smirks in satisfaction. Or maybe I'll just fuck you instead, how about it, babe? He looks at me in a manner and I immediately gain a tick mark and hit him my chakra-enhanced fist. Go to hell. I watch as he slams into a building and he gets up groaning in pain. That hurt, you fucker. Deal with it, asshole. I yell back, scowling. Hidan, stop playing with them. We're here to find the Kyuubi, not sacrifice to your make-believe god. Kakazu, a extremely old jerk, who keeps muttering about how he could be counting his money, scolds. Damn it, where is help when you need it? We're not gonna be able to hold up against two members. Hidan, Kakazu. I turn to see black-haired man wearing a orange swirl mask. They look at him with wide eyes. The Kyuubi is getting angry. Let's go team up on him. They nod. Why? I mutter, watching the interaction. We'll deal with you fuckers later. Hidan screams at us as we watch wide-eyed. They disappear and we snap out of our daze. Crap, they're going after Naruto. Do you think he'll hold out against three members? Choji yells. We have to believe in him. Asuma-sensei says, trying to reassure us. Still, we should find him and help if he needs it. Shikamaru says as we nod our heads and start running towards the center of the village. Sakura's POV, somewhere else in the village. Chandaro. I scream as I punch a blue-skinned man named Kisame Hoshigaki. Ya, beat him up. Inner yells in my head. Sakura, watch out. Kakashi screams as I dodge another blow coming from Kisame. You brats are getting on my nerves. Kisame says, clearly annoyed. You're getting on my nerves. Cha. I yell, punching him in the abdomen. He spits out blood and crashes into a tree. Now, Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke yells, his Sharingan spinning. Kakashi-sensei lifts his headband to reveal his famed Sharingan. Kisame slowly starts to get up. Kamui. Kakashi yells as he aims a black hole at Kisame, only to grow wide-eyed as Kisame suddenly disappears. Crap. Sasuke yells, turning around to see a black-haired man with an orange swirl mask holding up Kisame. We will attend to you later. For now we are getting the Kyuubi. He yells, arrogantly disappearing in some space-time ninjutsu. You alright? Jiraiya asks, running up to us. We nod in confirmation. Hurry, let's get to Naruto. I know where they're headed. He starts to run towards the center of the village and we follow him. Hinata's POV, somewhere else in the village. Kiba. I yell, seeing Kiba be hit by the blonde bombers, named Deidara, Clay. Shit, I'm fine. He yells, getting up from the rubble of a building he hit. See that, Donna? Art is an explosion, Deidara screams at the red-haired male, named Sasori. I charge at Deidara, catching him off guard, and hit him in the chest using my gentle fist. Sasori hums as he watches us fight. Help me, Donna. Deidara screams, trying to pry himself from the rubble I pushed him into. No, Sasori replies in an annoying manner. You too. A voice says, and I turn to see a black-haired male with an orange swirl mask. Get up and follow me. We're teaming up on the Kyuubi. Zetsu's already there, along with Orochimaru. That leaves you two. Sasori helps Deidara up, and Shino tries to have his bugs to attack only for them to disappear in a space-time ninjutsu. Damn it, Tsunade says, running up to us. They're after Naruto. Me and Jiraiya keep chasing that asshole around. Let's go. We need to save Naruto-kun. I yell, running towards the center of the village, of course using my Byakugan to find them, and they follow. Naruto's POV. I walk to the center of the village to see it completely destroyed. Why hello Kyuubi. I turn around to see all of the Akatsuki excluding Itachi, Konan, and Nagato. Akatsuki. I growl at them. No need to get so feisty, little fox. Sasori says, which one of you attacked my girlfriend? I yell at them, my eyes flashing a dangerous red. I was the one, the black-haired man says. My eyes start to glow purple before becoming completely purple and gaining rings around the pupils. Almighty pull. Almighty pull. I yell, reaching my hand out to him. His eye widens as he gets pulled onto my outstretched hand. I start to squeeze his neck only for him to disappear in smoke. Red chakra slowly starts leaking out of me. God fucking damn it. I think in rage. Getting pissed. Kyuubi? Hidan mocks me. I growl at him. That piece of kit, calm down. Sigh sorry. I take a deep breath and the red chakra disappears. Ah, that's no fun. He calmed himself down. Hidan whines. Shut up. Kakazu tells him. Why the fuck are you so hell-bent on getting the tailed beasts? I yell at them, my eyes still showing anger. We want to achieve world peace. The back-haired man wearing an orange spiral mask says. I sweat drop at their logic. How the hell are they planning for world peace using the Biju? Who are you anyway? I ask him, narrowing my eyes. My name is Madara Uchiha. He screams as I look at him, deadpanning. Lies. No, you're not. Kurama would have recognized you. You know the Nine Tails? I ask them, smirking. So who are you really? You are an Uchiha, that's for sure. Kyuubi's releasing massive killer intent. I slowly start to walk towards him. That man made me kill you parents. I stop in my tracks. Why you? I walk backwards. The hell. I mutter. So you know about that Why the hell? Did you make the fox kill my parents? I scream at him. No POV. Guys, what are you doing here? Sakura asks. Konan, Nagato somehow came too. Itachi, Jiraiya, Asuma, Hinata, Shikamaru, Shino, Kiba, Ino, Choji, Kurenai, Arakatshine, and Yukihime. The same thing you are, trying to help Naruto-kun. Yukihime exclaims as everyone nods in agreement. Who are you anyway? We look towards the center of the village and our eyes grow wide with shock. We see Naruto glaring at the black-haired man, with his Rinnegan eyes. What's the most surprising is that the whole Akatsuki is there, except for Itachi, Nagato, and Konan. My name is Madara Uchiha. The black-haired man yells, resulting in some gasps from the group. No, you're not. Kurama would have recognized you. You know the Nine Tails? Naruto asks him, smirking. So who are you really? You are an Uchiha, that's for sure. Kyuubi's releasing massive killer intent. He slowly starts walking towards the man. He suddenly stops and his eyes grow wide. Why you? He starts to back away. The hell. We can hear him mutter. So you know about that, The self-proclaimed Madara states. Why the hell? Did you make the fox kill my parents? He screams at him. Everyone gasps in shock. Why not? You little. Naruto starts to breath heavily, clearly getting enraged. Bastard. Naruto screams as he gains a yellowish cloak on him. The man gasps in shock. Holy. We can hear the Akatsuki mutter. Yellow chakra arms come out of the cloak and dive towards the Akatsuki members, frying Hidan and Kakuzu. The rest either dodge, or in Kisami's case let their sword eat the chakra, of course making the sword double in size. Get the hell back here, you cowards. Naruto yells, looking as if he lost his mind, which honestly he might have. Naruto starts to walk only to stop in his tracks, putting his hand on his mouth and removing it a second later to reveal a trail of blood coming from his chin. His chakra mode fades away. I see you can't hold that mode long. Madara states. Just tell me who the hell you are, ya bastard. Naruto yells, clearly still pissed. The man chuckles before putting a hand on his mask. You're going to die anyway, why not? He removes his mask to reveal a scarred face. Obito? Kakashi gasps. We all look at Kakashi in shock, except Naruto, who is glaring angrily at Obito. Obito Uchiha, teammate to Kakashi Hitaki and Rin Nohara. Sensei, Minato Namikaze, my father. Naruto glares at him even more. You had the Kyuubi attack your own fucking sensei. What kind of twisted person are you? He gains a red chakra around him and his tail sways back and forth in anger. Just the regular kind, he replies dryly, causing us to sweat drop at the situation. Suddenly Obito starts making hand signs and Naruto stops glaring and gains a wide-eyed look as a huge fireball was launched toward him. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Naruto just stands there before closing his eyes and standing straight. Naruto? What are you planning? No. Sasuke realizes. What? We scream, looking away, but quickly looking back to see the fireball dissipating and Naruto standing there with 9 tails behind him in a defensive position. Holy crap, we mutter. Demon style. Kaiho Teru. We hear Naruto say as he looks up, revealing blood-red, slitted eyes. And now, you die. I charge towards Obito, my 9 tails swishing behind me in anger. How dare this asshole attack my parents? I think angrily. Shit. Obito mutters, phasing through my punch. I quickly spin around, throwing a three-pronged kunai up into the air. With amazing control I teleport to my kunai and charge up a Rasengan. Rasengan! I yell, ramming it into his back, happily smirking, seeing it hit him full force. I jump away and look at the crater to see a log, usually used for substitution. I curse under breath and dodge a punch coming from one of Sasori's puppets. I quickly punch the puppet, adding chakra to my fist, resulting in a very pissed off Sasori and a shattered puppet. I jump away and I look back at where I was to see clay bomb detonating. I use one hand and I pull out my katana to block a hit from Samahata, Kisami's sword, just in time. I put pressure on the sword and I can hear it growling. I use my free hand and take out sharpened, three-pronged kunai, using it to block yet another blow, this time from Orochimaru and his sword Kusanagi. I put as much pressure on my weapons as I can and push Orochimaru and Kisame back, jumping away. I look at my kunai to see it with many cracks in it. These assholes better not break my dad's kunai. I jump up, dodging a black hole created by Obito, and I land only to widen my eyes and hastily look down. I see Zetsu holding my legs down and I struggle to remove them. I look ahead to see the Akatsuki members, the ones who are loyal and alive, all activating hand signs, getting ready to use a combo move on me. I look back down, glaring at Zetsu, who unnoticeably flinches. Kurama. Right. I quickly activate my Biju mode, and Zetsu's hands immediately leave from my feet, seeing as it burns him. I look back up to see them completing their jutsus. Water release. Great waterfall technique. Kisame shouts. Red secret technique. Performance of 100 puppets. Sasori yells, removing a scroll from his back. C1. Deidara mutters, throwing explosive birds towards me. Fire release. Great fire annihilation. Obito yells. Lightning release. False darkness. Orochimaru yells. Earth release. Earth flow divide. Zetsu yells. I quickly activate my ultimate defensive jutsu. Demon style. Kyukyoku barrier. A barrier appears around me, protecting the village from the jutsus. Naruto. No. I can hear Yukihime scream, as she gets held back by a Rakutshine. Suddenly the earth below me rips open and I jump, sliding on the side of the newly formed cliff, using chakra to slow myself down. Out of the endless smoke come multiple explosive birds, which I quickly detonate in mid-air using a regular kunai. I see a spear of lightning heading straight towards me. I flow wind chakra into another kunai and block the spear successfully. I hear crackling and I turn to see Obito, with fire coming out of his mouth. He directs the fire towards me. Water release. Water wall. I think holding out my hand and a wall of water immediately appears, keeping the never-ending fire at bay. My Biju mode deactivates and I start to slowly pant in exhaustion. I turn yet again to see 100 puppets charging at me. Not noticing fast enough, I get hit by a few of their swords right in the abdomen. I cough blood from my mouth, my eyes widening in fear, and the rest of the puppets disappear, signaling the jutsu fulfilled its purpose. The fire and lightning stop and I see black blurs moving a few feet in front of me. I stagger back, struggling to stay standing. Had enough, Kyuubi? Obito asks, smirking in satisfaction. Naruto. Naruto. I can distantly hear Yukihime scream, my hearing starting to get muffled. Fuck you, I say, forcing out the words, resulting in a coughing fit and me falling to the ground on my back, launching the sword deeper into my stomach, causing me to wince and hiss out in pain. Looks like it's over, Jinchuriki. I use what strength I have left and force some of Kyuubi's chakra into Yukihime's fox necklace. I cough once more. Demon style. Bakuhatsu. I mutter, using most of my chakra and painfully moving my hand, gathering my chakra into it, resulting in a beam of light coming out and succeeding in vaporizing all of the Akatsuki members but Orochimaru and Obito, who are groaning in pain, picking themselves up from the rubble. I feel my barrier start to fall apart as I close my eyes, not expecting to open them again. Sleep well. 6 years ago, a month after banishment, near Tanigakure, village hidden in the valleys, Naruto's POV. Hey Kurama, is the fire lit yet? I ask, walking into mine and Kurama's resting place for the night. I look towards the unlit fire to see Kurama, in his human form, glaring at it angrily. No, this piece of crap fire won't start. He huffs and sits down on the hard ground. Fire release. Mini fireball jutsu. I say, holding my hand over my mouth and breathing fire onto the pile of sticks. The fire lights and Kurama glares at the fire. Why didn't I think of that earlier? He grumbles. Because you're a lazy fox? I ask, resulting in him scoffing and flipping me off. I roll my eyes in an uncaring motion. Hey, when can I go to Suna? The idiotic Leaf are still looking for you, Kit. He responds, grunting in an annoyed manner. Well, shouldn't we do something about it then? What would we do? He asks, looking at me. I gain a thoughtful look before looking up at him and smirking. Wait, what's with the face? And why did you cut off the mind-reading connection? He asks suspiciously, narrowing his eyes at me. We could fake my death? I ask, resulting in Kurama's eyebrow to raise. Not bad, Kit, but there's one problem. They would know you're alive since your contract with the Toads still stands. Well, I can just cancel it, can't I? I sassily glare at him, putting a hand on my hip. Yes, but you would have to talk to the Toads about it. And I doubt they'll stay quiet about it to that Sannin. He says, making me growl. If that Sannin interferes, I will beat him to a bloody pulp. I say, my eyes flashing red. Still pissed? Of course I am. He's supposed to be my freaking godfather. I bet my parents are rolling in their graves right now. I say, muttering the last sentence. What do you think I should do? Go pay the Toads a visit and ask them not to tell Jiraiya, and if he's there, let me out so I can kick his ass for not watching over you when you were little. He says, leaking a bit of killer intent and smiling evilly. I sweat drop and shake my head. I'll do that, but you're not touching him. If anyone's going to beat him to a bloody pulp, it's me. I say, pointing to myself as Kurama pouts. Now let's eat, then I'll pack up and reverse summon myself to Mount Myoboku. After eating and packing. Right. See y'all later, Kurama. I say as Kurama nods and vanishes in a poof, returning in my mindscape, probably already asleep. I sit down and get in a meditative position. After a few minutes I hear a poof and I open my eyes to see Mount Myoboku, pick up top. Hey, Naruto. I look behind me to see Gamakichi. Hello, Gamakichi. I say calmly, surprising the Toad. You're actually calm now. I hold the bridge of my nose in nervousness. It was a mask I created. I simply state, oh, well, follow me, Naruto. Jiraiya-san wants to see ya. I glare at him, resulting in the Toad getting wide-eyed. I am not going to see that bastard. I say firmly. And why is that? I widen my eyes and turn around, glaring at the Toad Sannin. Well, first off, you're my fucking godfather and you spend your time peeping on women instead of raising me. Or even freaking visiting. Better yet, why the hell didn't you protect me from the bastard villagers? I yell at him. I suddenly notice that Gamabunta is slowly hopping away, hoping to leave unnoticed. Jiraiya widens his eyes and scratches the back of his head nervously, while smiling sheepishly. Oh, so you know about the whole godfather thing? He states, chuckling in even more nervousness. I lose it and punch him in the gut with a chakra-enhanced fist, leaving him groaning in pain on the ground, and clutching to his abdomen. Okay, I guess I deserve that. He mutters, regaining himself. Why did no one have the decency to tell me? I ask him, calming down. Well, your father had many enem. I cut him off, showing my hand. I understand that, but why couldn't you tell me? It's not like I would have gone and blabbed it around the village. I'm not stupid. And it's not like the villagers would actually believe me. They would most likely beat me up again. I yell at him. Wait again? He asks, standing up. Oh, did the Sandame never tell you? I ask, mockingly, sneering at him. Yeah, I got beat up and tortured as a kid. You know, burning knives against my skin, alcohol being poured on the wounds. Occasionally a ninjutsu would be thrown at me, maybe a genjutsu, or better yet, a gentle fist to the neck, or any vital you can freaking think of. I tell him, his eyes widening to big proportions. Why didn't he tell me this? He mutters, looking down sadly. He probably didn't think you would care. I say, sneering. Jiraiya looks at me with wide eyes. I do care, Naruto. He yells. Prove it. I yell, challenging him. Well, I've been neglecting my peeking and been searching for you for the past month. I haven't had one perverted thought all month. Well, except for when I tell Tsunade I haven't found you, and I stare at her breasts. But that's not the point, I care. He yells, resulting in me looking at him with wide eyes. Then why? Why didn't you raise me as a kid? I scream at him, my eyes flashing red. I didn't think I was the proper person to do it. He admits sadly, holding his arm in shame. I look at him confused. I thought I wasn't ready to raise a kid. But if I had raised you, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. He mutters, looking to the ground. Everything grows silent. I look down and thought my bangs covering my eyes. Kit, he's genuinely sorry. He has no negative feelings. Kit? Jiraiya. I mutter, looking up unnoticeably, seeing him look up hopefully at me. I leap towards him and envelop him in a hug as he looks at me shocked before hugging me back, smiling as tears streak down his face. I'm guessing this means I'm forgiven? He asks silently, not letting go as I give him a nod of confirmation. We stay like this for a few minutes before I let go, and he does the same, and I wipe away the tears from my eyes. He does the same. By the way, Naruto, why did you reverse summon yourself here? I look at him scratching the back of my head sheepishly. And where did you get the new clothes? The one on the far left, except his is without the face mask. I've always had them, I just never wore them because of my happy-go-lucky blonde idiot mask. Hiruzen did say something about a mask. He mutters. Oh, so he manages to say that. But no tilde, he couldn't tell me even about the freaking Kyuubi. I say, clearly pissed at the old man. You're pissed at him, aren't you? Yeah, but it's not really anything serious. I can't hate him, he's the only one who cared for me, well besides the ramen chefs. He sweat drops before narrowing his eyes at me in realization. Wait, you're trying to change the subject. Jiraiya yells. I gain a tick mark before taking a calming breath, relaxing my nerves. I was coming here to tell the toads not to tell you I'm alive and to tell you, and all of Konoha, I'm dead. I say in a serious tone. Why? He asks curiously. I want to be able to walk around the elemental nations freely without Konoha assholes on my back. I say, holding the bridge of my nose. Okay, how about this? I tell Tsunade that your name has disappeared from the summoner's scroll. What would that do? I ask curiously. If that happens, it means the summoner is dead. But I do have one condition. I raise my brow and gesture for him to continue. We keep in touch. Kurama? It's reasonable. Say yes. Fine. But make sure you don't say anything about me being alive. Deal. I should probably go and break the news to Tsunade. Jiraiya says, sighing in disappointment. I need to go train while avoiding all ninja for the next week. Then I'll go to the sand to see Gaara. I say, remember we keep in touch? He says, oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier. What should our codenames be? I ask Jiraiya, who gains a thoughtful look. I think mine will be J, since it's the first letter of my name. Mine can't be NU or people will get suspicious. Oh. How about CK? I ask Jiraiya, who raises his brow. What does it stand for? Crimson Kitsune. Interesting, where did you get the name? Kurama had the idea of training me to the extent of a bingo book. And that's what my bingo book name would be. Who? Oh, right. Kurama's the Nine Tails. I say as Jiraiya looks at me in shock. I've known him since I was 3. I say, answering the unsaid question. You may be the most unpredictable ninja, Naruto. But this is just plain impressive, and should I be worried? Nah, he's nice, he was the only friend I had till the academy. Jiraiya looks at me with wide eyes before his calms down, showing a softened look on his face. Tell him I said thanks for being there for you. I look at Jiraiya in shock. Tell him, next time he should actually raise you. Kurama says, resulting in me sweat dropping. The furball says, next time he should actually raise you. I say, quoting the lazy fox. Jiraiya's sweat drops. I'll ask again, should I be worried? No, the fox cares in his own, special way. I say, trying to find the right word to describe Kurama's attitude. Well, I'm off to see Tsunade. Jiraiya yells, sitting down in a meditative position. Remember, don't act cheerful. I yell as he puffs out of existence. See y'all later, brat. I look towards Gamabunta and glare at him. Stop calling me that, you overgrown toad. I yell at him, pissed, as he chuckles. I shake my head in amusement. See ya, boss toad. I yell, sitting in a meditative position and poofing back towards my campsite, well a few feet away. I get up only to stop sensing someone at near my campsite. I quickly hide by a tree, masking my chakra, and use my improved sensory skills to see if it's anyone dangerous. I sense 3 people, one with low Anbu level chakra, one with low Chunin chakra, and one with high Genin level chakra. That Anbu level chakra, why is it so familiar? Kit, be cautious here. Hi. I jump towards my campsite, staying hidden, but stop right next to the campsite, seeing a blur of pink. Kakashi-sensei? Where do you think he is? I hear a female voice ask. Sakura. I'm not sure, Sakura. An adult male voice answers. Kakashi. When we find him I'm going to beat the crap out of him for not even saying a goodbye, damn it. I hear a young male voice scowl. I silently snicker. My brotherly friend, the Teme. I slowly poke my head out making sure I'm still not noticeable. We'll find him. It can't be that hard, Sasuke. Kakashi says. Are you sure, sensei? I mean he was able to paint the Hokage faces in broad daylight while wearing an orange jumpsuit. Not even the damn Anbu were able to catch him. Sasuke says sighing. I see you like my work, Teme. Thanks for the compliment. We have to find him or else Tsunade-sama will rip our heads off. He answers. Anger issues much? Old people, always so cranky. You do realize you're a 1,000-year-old fox, right? Didn't think about that, did you? Hey Kakashi. Look, it's a campsite. I silently mutter curses under my breath. At least I took all my stuff with me. Damn you Teme. Hey, are those ramen cups? Sakura asks looking in the bushes. Fuck, you're screwed. Thanks for your, oh so helpful advice. I think to him sarcastically. Do you think we're close? Sakura asks. Perhaps. Let's wait here for a while and see if anyone shows up. Kakashi says. Do you think it'll be Naruto? Sasuke asks looking hopeful. My dramatic speech at the Valley of the End must have made him realize he can have feelings. I still don't know why you helped him. He's my rival. He acknowledged me, and I thank him for that. I wasn't kidding when I called him a brotherly figure to me though. And what am I to you? Chopped liver? You're my father figure. Now I feel so tilde special. Was that sarcasm? What was that? I gasped slightly and notice my foot is pressing against a stick. Crap. Say Kitsune Henkin. Kitsune Henkin. I mutter lacing chakra around my body. I notice my vision getting sharper and my body shrinks down. I shudder and I notice I have fur and a tail, along with ears and whiskers. I hear someone walking towards me and I turn to see Sakura. She squeals picking me up. Top pick is similar to how he looks. Ah, Kakashi-sensei. It's so cute. Sakura screams running up to me and squishing me against her chest as she strokes my fur. You can't keep it, Sakura. He says tiredly. But Kakashi-sensei. She whines, and Kakashi gives her a stern look. How long can I keep this up? It's permanent until you deactivate it. And you can't talk normally either. Got it. I make a noise and Sakura looks at me and widen her eyes. Oh, I'm sorry, was I hurting you? She places me down and I stare at in a curious manner. What's going on? I look to see Sasuke walking up. I run up to him, and since I'm acting like a fox I sniff him. I look up at him in curiosity. Wow, didn't know he smells like tomatoes. And a slight hint of death. Why am I not concerned at all? You found a fox? He asks confused. Kakashi-sensei says we can't keep it. Sakura says sadly. I quickly run back to Sakura and turn back towards Sasuke. I run at him and leap onto his head. He squeaks in surprise. I lay down on his duck butt hair and start to play with it. Kawaii. Sakura screams passing out. Kakashi, is this a normal fox? Sasuke asks. Not sure, but it could be. I stop playing with Sasuke's hair and look up curiously at Kakashi, who is walking towards us. I see him aim to grab me, but I hiss at him, resulting in him backing away. So now we know it doesn't like you. Sasuke says, smirking in amusement. Kakashi scowls and moves again to grab me, but I leap off Sasuke and hide behind his leg. And it seems to like you. He replies, smirking. Kakashi leaps at me and I run out of his reach. He gets up and starts running after me. I leap away into the forest and quickly jump onto a low tree branch. Kakashi gets confused when he sees my disappear, but I yip, one of the sounds a fox makes, and he looks up at me. His one visible eye widening. Okay, not a normal fox. He mutters. Not normal at all. Sasuke says, looking up at me in even more amusement, since I'm making his sensei jump around like a monkey. Sasuke walks towards the tree I'm in and walks up the tree, adding chakra to his feet. I run towards the edge of the branch and Sasuke walks carefully, trying not to fall. I look around, seeing a tree a few feet behind me. I quickly turns towards it and leap, adding chakra to my paws. I stick to the tree and I look back at them to see them gaping like fish. It can use chakra? I think he's enjoying this. Sasuke mutters. I look at Sasuke, the first one who actually didn't call me an it. How do you know if it's a boy? I don't know, I just think he is. Sasuke replies, shrugging. Suddenly an Anbu appears and looks towards Kakashi. Since the attention is drawn away from me, I use chakra and climb to a branch that's right above Sasuke's head. What is it? Kakashi asks. Tsunade-sama is telling you to come to her office at once. He replies, shunshining away. Maybe she found him? Sakura, who apparently is awake, says looking hopeful. What do we do about that mischievous fox? Sasuke asks, looking back to where I was. Where did he go? Kakashi asks. I jump down onto Sasuke's head, and he falls off the branch groaning in pain as he hits the ground. That's for putting 2 Chidori holes in my chest. I think, smirking as best as a fox can. I jump off him and stare at Kakashi, who is sweat dropping. I think we should just leave the fox here, he says, looking at me in an annoyed manner. Same look he always gave me. Yeah, he's getting on my nerves. Sasuke mutters, getting up holding his nose. I quickly jump into the foliage and watch as they stare where I disappeared to, before realizing they're staring at a fox. You think he just wanted to play? Sakura asks. Or piss us off? Sasuke mutters. It doesn't matter, let's go back to the leaf, Kakashi says, and he starts jumping away. Sasuke jumps after him. Wait for me, Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke. Sakura yells, jumping after them. I watch them leave, and after a few moments I gather my chakra and think about transforming back. I open my eyes to see my sight back to normal and my height as well. I start to think about where to go, but an overgrown fox interrupts me. Nice job on the acting, Kit. Nice job on making them bad. Why thank you. I enjoyed pissing them off. Naruto's POV -1 week after seeing Jiraiya. Kit, you can go to Suna now. No leaf ninja have been seen for a few days. Kurama says, coming out of the littler cabin we found. Pick up top. Finally. I scream, sighing in happiness, accidentally dropping some wood. Just hurry up and help me fix the roof, he says, sighing, going back inside the cabin. Just help me with the roof, Tilda, I say in a mocking tone. Shut up and work, you imbocile. He screams, making me jump into action. 1 hour later. Finally. I say, coming out of the now fixed cabin. About time. Kurama says, annoying the hell out of me. Hey, do you think I'm advanced enough in sealing to fix Gaara's crap seal? Any seal is better than the one he has. It's just a petty storage seal. I don't understand how Shukaku hasn't escaped yet. He probably prefers to torture Gaara. True. I look forward to see myself already at the border of the land of rivers and the land of wind. That was fast. I mutter, and I go through my jacket and take out my hood, putting it on and running onto the sand. 3 days later, Suna's gates. Halt. One of the guards say as I quickly hide my chakra. Yes? I ask. Who are you? What do you want of the hidden sand village? The other guard asks. I'm just a traveling merchant who wishes to see the case cage. They narrow their eyes at me before allowing me to enter. The tower is over there, they say, pointing towards a huge tower. Go straight there. I nod and start walking. I look around and slightly notice a Junin following me. Nosy bastards. I walk around and I see people looking at me curiously. I enter the case cage tower and climb hundreds of tortuous stairs. After climbing to the top, I knock on the door and enter, hearing to come in. I look around to see Gaara, the new case cage, along with his siblings Temari and Kankuro. They look at me suspiciously before Gaara nods in greeting. I bow in response. Hello, case cage dono. I have come to discuss private matters with you. Would you please have the hidden Anbu get out of the room? As a result, multiple Anbu surround me. Who are you? Gaara asks. CK. I say, resulting in Gaara getting wide-eyed and gasping. Anbu, get out, he commands, and the Anbu look at each other in worry. I set out. Gaara yells, slamming his hands on the desk. Gaara? What was that about? Temari screams. Would you mind activating the silencing seals? I ask Temari, who looks at Gaara wearily, and seeing Gaara nod, she does it. I take off my hood, revealing my spiky blonde hair and whisker marks. Damn, it feels good to have that hood off, I say, sighing in content, and I look to my right to see Kankuro and Temari in shock. Did I kill them? I ask, waving my hand in front of Temari. No, they'll be fine. Now would you mind explaining how you were alive when Konoha said you're dead? He asks, glaring at me. I rub the back of my head, giving him a sheepish smile. Well, I didn't want Konoha's ninja to keep following me around. I explain, getting a knowing look from Gaara. And how did you manage to make everyone believe you're dead? Jiraiya told Tsunade that my name disappeared from the Toad Summoner's scroll, which is a lie. And when the name disappears, it means the person is dead. Gaara smirks. Nice lie, he says, complimenting me. I chuckle in amusement before getting hit on the head. I fall on the floor before glaring at Tamari, who apparently hit me with her fan. The hell? What was that for, Tamari? I scream at her. I was making sure you weren't a hallucination. She deadpans, causing me to sweat drop. Then why didn't you pinch yourself? I ask, rubbing my poor head. If you weren't a hallucination, it would be nice, cause I got to hit you for making us think you were dead. My sweat drop increases in size. Anyway, Gaara, ignoring your sister who is acting like a lunatic. I came to say hi and stuff. Also to fix your shitty seal. He looks at me in surprise. Hey, I'm not actually an idiot. I yell at him, and he gains a sweat drop. What do we need to do? He asks. Lay down on the couch and show me your stomach. I say, pointing towards the couch, and he goes there and sits on it. I go through my backpack. Let's see: food, water, clothes, weapons, medical supplies, ramen. Everyone looks at me and sweat drops. Aha. Seals. I take out my scroll of seals and activate the scroll. It opens, revealing lots of seal on it. Crap. Storage seal. Lightning seal. Transformation seal. Ramen supply seal. Everyone's sweat drops become larger. Naruto, dude, what is it with you and ramen? Kankuro asks. I dunno. I respond, shrugging. Everyone's sweat drops reach maximum size. I find the right seal and take it out, revealing a seal design on a piece of paper and a paintbrush with ink. I go over to Gaara, who is laying down with his stomach revealed. I take a glance at his seal before summoning a clone to sustain his current seal. The clone puts his hand on the seal and it glows before rising up. I quickly go over to the place where Gaara's storage seal was and start drawing the seal at a fast pace. I zone in on it, making sure there's no mistakes before my clone puffs away, and I grab at where the seal it was holding is. Terubasuto Sharingu. I mutter, biting my lip, as a bead of sweat rolls down my face. The seals glow before Gaara's storage seal disappears, and the new seal I placed becomes the holder of Shukaku. I fall to the ground panting. Damn, that was harder than I thought. I whine, wiping sweat from my face. That was awesome, Tamari says, looking at Gaara's new seal. It was a pain in the ass to create that seal. I mutter, putting my scrolls away. Thanks, Naruto. Gaara says, getting up. No prob, Gaara, but you should probably go take a nap. He looks at me in shock. I can do that now? He asks as his siblings look at me in shock as well. I nod. You should be able to. And when you meet Shukaku, try to befriend him. You'll be able to control your sand better. Kankuro and Tamari share a glance. How do you know all this? Kankuro asks. Kyuubi told me. I say, causing Tamari and Kankuro to look at me wide-eyed. Calm down, he's a real softie. I say, reassuring them. What was that, you brat? I wince in pain and grab my head. But he can still be a bitch and give me a fucking migraine. I mutter, causing them to sweat drop. By the way, Gaara? I look towards Gaara to see him fast asleep on the couch. I sweat drop. Wow, that was fast. Tamari says. I was going to tell him that he'll fall asleep pretty fast. But he's already asleep. See you two tomorrow. I'm going to a hotel. I say, waving to them and putting my hood back on. I look around my hotel room in disappointment. I have made a name of myself in such a short time. Now the name Crimson Kitsune is a rank. I set down my backpack, sighing. I'm so bored. Ever since I made a name for myself, all I've been doing is stupid missions. I mutter, annoyed to all possible means. That's it. I'm taking a vacation. Everyone will just have to wait for missions to be completed. I couldn't give a crap if I wanted to. I say, determined, and realizing I'm talking to myself, I quickly shut up. Kit. I turn to see Kurama in his chibi form appearing out of a column of smoke. Yes? I ask, looking at him with a bored expression. You're right about the vacation thing, he says before laying down to rest on the bed. I sweat drop at him and go back to unpacking. What I really need is some ramen. I mutter, finishing putting my stuff out. My eyes wander outside and I see people walking around having a normal life, and I stare into space before coming to my senses. What was that feeling? I think, confused as I leave my room, making sure to put up the "do not enter" sign and locking the door. I stop, realizing Kurama's in there, but I forget it since he can just jump out of the window. What would I give to have a normal life? I muse in my head, smirking at my naiveness. I walk outside of the hotel and my thoughts again drift towards the walking crowd. I shake my head before walking around looking for a ramen stand. After walking around for a few minutes, and looking at the crowd in a sense of longing, I find a ramen shop and enter it. A lady takes my order before going to make the ramen. I hear a swooshing sound and looking behind me, to the entrance. I see black-haired female with green eyes and black glasses, wearing a pink traveler's dress along with red high-heel boots. "Oh, hello Yuki-san. The usual I presume?" the waitress asks. "Of course, Akita," she says cheerfully, smiling in a forceful manner. I see her look at me out of the corner of her eye. "Hi, you must be new to the village. My name's Yukiheim," she says, moving her hand out in greeting. I look at her in interest before slowly shaking her hand. "Naruto," I say shortly, going back to my ramen which had just been placed in front of me. She looks at me and her eyes narrow before she sits down, returning to her cheerful self. "What brings you to town, Naruto?" she asks. "Why are you interrogating me, damn it?" I think hatefully. "Just traveling," I reply, trying to make her understand I don't want to talk. She smirks in deceitfulness, causing me to unnoticeably narrow my eyes at her. "You're a missing nin," she says bluntly, causing me to look at her in even more interest than before. I tilt my head towards her and she smirks in satisfaction. "And you, being incredibly nosy, are hiding what you really think from the real world. Hoping that no one will notice, yet also hoping someone will," I say, shoving ramen in my mouth, as she looks at me in shock. "Okay then, we both seem to be good information gatherers," she mutters, grabbing her ramen and eating it. "After the ramen we can chat at my hotel room," I say as she nods in confirmation. Hotel room. 10 minutes later. I open the door and look inside to see if Kurama is here. I notice him still sleeping peacefully on the bed. I enter, motioning for Yukiheim to enter. She enters and looks at me confused. I raise my brow and she motions towards the fox. "Don't worry about it," I say. I go over to a chair and sit down, she does the same. "How did you know that stuff about me?" "Before I became a missing nin I did the same," I say, surprising her. "Okay, maybe we should start on full names first," she says, rubbing her head. "You say yours and I'll say mine," I say, resulting in her growling but compiling. "Yukiheim Kurokidomo." I look at her in interest. I scroll through Kurama's memory of clans. Main branch of the Yuki clan. "Interesting," I mutter. She narrows her eyes at me. "Now your full name?" she says. "Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, at your service, miss," I say, doing a mock bow. She scowls in response before gaining a thoughtful look. Namikaze and Uzumaki, I glare at her, for mocking me. "Now, you tell me your backstory," I say. "Fine, but you'll do yours afterwards," she says as I nod in assurance. "Well, I guess my story starts when I was 7. There was a huge war starting, and being part of a bloodline clan made me, and my family, a target. A little over a week after my 7th birthday my family was killed, and from my mother's warnings, I had hid in the basement inside a wall, or more accurately a secret passage. Now being 7 I was naive and, not heeding my mother's warnings, I waited for her in the passage. I waited until I heard my mother scream. I was so surprised I had barely noticed the heavy footsteps coming down the basement stairs, but I did notice, and I had quickly, but quietly closed the passage and I ran down it. Being a bit smart for my age I realized I needed to run, and fast. But considering I was 7 I knew it wasn't an option. So when I exited the passage I quickly ran as far as I could, not realizing I was using chakra to speed away. I ended up about 5 miles away in a new village, that had no bloodlines or ninja. I settled there and quickly became a beggar. Fortunately, someone helped me, and at the age 10 I had a job. When I turned 12 I realized I needed to leave the country, since the war wasn't over and it was coming closer to the village I was in, so I fled. Since I had, over the years, managed to train myself as a ninja, after a few days I was able to reach the border of Lightning Country. And from there I actually trained properly and became a mercenary, a ninja not belonging to any village. And since I really don't want people to get close to me lest they die, I usually hide behind the mask. "You oh so rudely broke." She glares at me for effect. "Now you give me your backstory." I roll my eyes at her personality, before straightening my back. My story starts when I was born. My mother Kushina Uzumaki, second Jinchuriki to the Kyuubi, had just given birth, but she had no time to be happy. A masked man infiltrated the defenses my father had set up, and he had kidnapped me, trying to use me as a leverage over my father. My father, the Yondiami Hokage, quickly rescued me and Hira shinned me to one of their houses. Somehow the masked man managed to get his filthy hands on my mother and extracted the beast, but being an Uzumaki she didn't die. My father rescues her and here is shinned once more to the house he placed me in, quickly putting my mother by my side. After having a happy moment a loud roar was heard. The Kyuubi had been placed under a genjutsu and was being controlled by the masked man. My father went to the battlefield and fought the masked man, managing to make him release his hold on the beast. Realizing what had to be done, he quickly went towards our house and grabbed me. I'm not exactly sure what happens next, but somehow my father decided it would be a good idea to seal the now released Kyuubi into his newborn son. As he finished the sealing, the Kyuubi attacked me, but my parents took the blow, a huge claw to the chest. They quickly said their last words before dying, and the Kyuubi disappeared into the complicated containment seal that my father had placed on my stomach. If you think growing up would be easy for me, you should think again. During my childhood, before my genin days, I was beaten and tortured because the villagers couldn't put aside their hate and see me for the child I was, and not the Kyuubi. Around the age of 6 I decided to have a mask, one where no one could hurt the real me. Of course it would have worked out. Orochimaru the Snake Sannin hadn't come during the Chunin exams and screwed everything up. He had placed a curse seal on my teammate Sasuke and he, being hell-bent on revenge for his family, had left the village. One of my friends, a newly promoted Chunin, had organized a team to go after him. We completed the mission with ease, while I came back with 2 gaping holes in my chest, but that's beyond the point. When I had come back with Sasuke on my back, I looked up to see people gathering around the gate, with petty smirks on their faces. My other teammate, Sakura, had come towards me and scolded me for bringing the traitor back injured. Even though he wasn't injured at all. After yelling for a bit, she called me a demon and my whole world shattered around me. Shortly after having my heart broken by one of my closest friends, the council came and said I had been banished. I started cursing Konoha and quickly ran away, leaving my friends and passed behind me. I was only 12 and I had been banished for completing the fucking mission, after all I had done for the village. Beating an out-of-control Jinchuriki and bringing the new Hokage, those bastards. After leaving the village behind me and declaring myself as a Nuke Nin, Rouge Nin, I quickly started training shortly after that, vowing to never open up to anyone unless I felt they deserved it. I also managed to fake my own death with the help of my old sensei, who I've stayed in touch with. I think that's it. Why did I open up to her? Is she trustworthy? I think angry at myself for opening up. Our pasts are both bad, but you've had it worse. She mutters, looking like she's going to shed tears. If you cry I will kick you out. I say, not wanting any mushy stuff to happen. She quickly gains a tick mark and bashes me on the head. Shut up, Baka, she screams, waking Kurama up, and he just stares. The hell is going on, Kit? He asks, looking confused. Yukihime looks at him with wide eyes while I just get up with ease and walk towards him. Ah, nothing. Just opening up my past to a girl I just met. Don't ask why I opened up, I have no clue as to why I did. He sweat drops. Talking, Fox, talks. Yukihime mutters as we sweat drop. Yes, he talks. He's also the Kyuubi. She looks at me, skepticism taking over. That twig? She asks as I look at her wide-eyed. What was that, you pathetic whelp? Kurama asks, darkly glaring at her. Yukihime looks at him in disinterest. I called you a twig. She responds and I look between them, hoping to all of the 9 hells that no one dies. I like you, brat. Kurama says, smirking, making me sigh in relief. I think I want to travel with you too. It sounds like fun. Yukihime says cheerfully. Sure, why not? I say, smirking. This is going to get interesting. Naruto. I cry out, panicking as I see him fall to the ground, using the last jutsu. The barrier quickly falls and I run over in a speed unimaginable and put my ear against Naruto's chest. Hearing his heart beating, I quickly take a defensive stance over him. The others quickly jump to my side, while Sakura and Arakachine go to heal his injuries. That damn brat, Obito yells, hissing from pain. That really hurt. He whines. Shut up, you pathetic. Obito glares at him, his Sharingan spinning, and Orochimaru quickly shuts up, looking at him with a terrified expression. Who else wants to beat the crap out of them? I ask, barely holding myself back. I do. All of them scream except Sakura, who is focused on healing Naruto. Let's get them, Ino yells. Everyone nods in confirmation and we quickly split into 2 groups. The first consisting of Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Asuma, Hinata, Kiba, Shino, Kurenai, Nagato, and Jiraiya, going after Orochimaru. The second consisting of Sasuke, Kakashi, Guy, Lee, Tenten, Neji, Tsunade, Konan, Itachi, and me, going after Obito. 10 minutes later, damn it, I yell, punching the air where Obito once was. Too slow, he says, appearing on the roof of a building that's still intact. I pant in exhaustion, while also panting in rage. Why Obito? Kakashi asks in a sad tone. You killed Rin. You promised me you would protect her, and you killed her. He yells, his Mangekyo Sharingan spinning. She went in front of my Chidori. He defends. Bullshit. He yells, making hand signs for a fire jutsu. Water release. Great wall. I yell, appearing in front of everyone and making a use wall of water. The fireball hits the water and both jutsus deactivate. Oh yes, I almost forgot about you in the midst of my rage. Obito muses before he frowns. Looks like you'll die first. Everyone stops hearing a thud and we turn towards Sakura to see her knocked out, and Arakachine nowhere to be seen. While White Zetsu holds Naruto, who is still unconscious, over his shoulder. I gasp in surprise and run as fast as I can over there, but in vain when Zetsu disappears into the ground, taking Naruto with him. No, I yell, going down to my knees. Well, that's my cue to go. I need to be alive when we do the extraction. See ya, he yells, waving as he disappears in his space-time ninjutsu. As he disappears, I hold my hand over my mouth and start sobbing. And Tsunade comes over to me and holds me to her chest as I sob my anger away. What happened? Orochimaru just disappeared. Jiraiya yells, running over to us. He sees me crying on Tsunade and he immediately comes towards me and puts a reassuring hand on my shoulder. Sakura was knocked out by a hard hit to the neck. Tsunade says, looking at the bruise on Sakura's neck. Zetsu must have survived that jutsu Naruto pulled and used our carelessness to take him. Tsunade says, starting to shed tears. We'll get him back, by the power of youth. Lee yells. In a determined silence, I release myself from Tsunade and pull up the sleeve of my dress, to reveal a complicated summoning seal with a fox in the middle of it. I bite my finger and spread blood over the seal. What are you doing, Yuki-san? Sasuke asks, walking towards me. Foxes. 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 A orange and red 8-tailed fox appears in front of me, before quickly transforming into a auburn-haired woman with orange eyes and glasses. Pick up top. Sokatni, I need you to tell Kurama to come here right now. Tell him it's a first-class emergency. I yell urgently as the fox gasps in surprise. Of course, Yuki-sama, I'll go at once. Sokatni says before disappearing. What was that about? Kiba asks. I needed to get Kurama here. He probably already knows. I wanted to say more, but Kurama appears in his human form and looks around madly. Once he spots me, he walks over to me and grabs me by the shoulders. What happened to Kit? He yells, clearly panicking. The Akatsuki grabbed him. He managed to defeat all but Orochimaru and Obito the Masked Man. And Itachi, Nagato, and Konan here helped us protect Naruto. Now tell us how to find Naruto-kun, damn it. I yell, pinning him against a still intact wall. His eyes widen when he hears about the Akatsuki. Push some of your chakra into the necklace he gave you. Then use your chakra to sense Kit's. He yells as I quickly release him and grab my 9-tailed fox necklace from underneath my dress. I quickly sit down in a meditative position and search for Naruto's chakra. Kurama's POV. I watch as Yuki sits down and tries to find Kit's chakra. What the hell is going on, Kurama? Jiraiya yells. The kid had a plan made if something bad happened. I say, easily, still watching Yuki. Yes, but what does anything have to do with the necklace? Tsunade yells. Naruto made a way for Yuki to find him through the necklace he gave her. I don't think he planned his though. I say, worry-laced in my voice. Got him. Yuki-hime yells, jumping up as she starts running south. I snap my fingers and 7 foxes appear, one of them being my daughter Arakachine. Sasuke, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Nagato, Konan, Itachi, Kakashi. Follow me, I yell as I transform into a relatively safe-sized fox. Get on the foxes. I yell at them and they hastily comply. I nod towards the foxes and we start jumping. After a few minutes, Yuki gets in my sight, and I immediately run faster towards her and push her into the air and she lands on my back. Hurry, Kurama, they're only a few miles south. Got it. Kit, you better not die on me. Here you go, master, I say, putting the Jinchuriki on the ground, before jumping up to a finger of the statue. Pick up top. Wonderful. We may have lost the others, but this is the most secure base. I doubt they'll find us. Master, Obito yells before laughing insanely. Is there any way for the process to be sped up, Obito? Orochimaru asks, doubting him. Obito growls at the Sannin before turning to me. Zetsu, quickly, go and make 7 clones. I nod. Yukihime's POV minus 10 minutes later. Damn it, how fucking far did they teleport? I yell, trying to calm myself down. Calm down, Yuki. Kid won't like that, you're panicking. He'll fucking kill me for letting you panic. Kurama scolds grumpily underneath me. How far away are we? Tsunade yells, struggling to hold on to Sokutni. I smell him. Arakatshine yells. We should be extremely close. Kurama says, nodding to himself. Stop. I yell, making all the foxes stop jumping and leap down to the ground. What? Kurama yells, looking at me. Is the necklace supposed to do that? I ask, holding my necklace in worry. I look at it and see the glow it held earlier to be growing dim. Crap, Kurama yells, panicking. Hurry up, you bastards. I'm not letting Kid die on us, damn it. Kurama starts jumping again and the others follow in suit. What is it? Jiraiya yells, looking at us in worry. Hurry, damn it. I yell, releasing killer intent, making everyone try to move faster. What's going on? Sasuke yells, his Mangekyo Sharingan spinning. He's dying, damn it. I yell, starting to tear up. Everyone gains wide eyes. For a few seconds all that can be heard is the panting of the foxes and their paws, along with my quiet cries. Look, Nagato yells, over there. That has to be it. He yells, pointing towards a specific boulder. We jump over there and look over the rock, while I hastily wipe my eyes. Nagato, that's just a rock. Jiraiya yells, resulting in Nagato's eye twitching. Itachi pushes everyone out of the way and starts doing rapid hand seals. Holy crap. I can't even keep up with him. And that's saying something. I think in shock. Release. He yells, slamming his hand on the ground, and the rock rumbles, before completely disappearing. Itachi pants a bit from exhaustion before looking at us. We all had wide eyes except for Nagato and Konan. Well, what are you waiting for? Nagato asks, running in. We run in to see a giant statue, Orochimaru, Obito, and 8 Zetsus on its fingers. We look towards the statue only to see Naruto levitating in mid-air with chakra flowing out of him into the statue. Naruto. I yell, resulting in Obito, Zetsu, and Orochimaru to look at us. They stop the jutsu and Naruto falls. Before he reaches the ground, out of nowhere sand appears and breaks his fall. I turn behind us to see a panting Gaara along with his siblings. Panda-chan. I yell in amazement, and the others look at me with shock, seeing as I addressed the case cage as Panda-chan. Damn, it took a while to get here. Gaara says, still panting. The sand holding Naruto up brings him to me and I quickly check his heartbeat. Give him back, you pests. Orochimaru yells. Kurama and the other foxes get in front of us and growl in terrifying unison. I slow my breathing down and cut out everything that's happening around me. I listen closely and after a second I hear a faint heartbeat. I sigh in relief. He's alive, I say, gently bringing him close to my chest, caressing his cheek, which has many cuts in it. I can faintly hear everyone say thanks under their breath. Well, that just means we can still extract the Kyuubi. Obito says in delight. I look up, glaring at him, and everyone growls. I look back towards Naruto to see him coughing up blood. I use my hand and gently wipe it away. Back away, you foolish humans. Kurama says, transforming into his human form, his glare intensifying. I look back towards Gaara to see him silently summon Shukaku. Back away from the pesky brat. Shukaku says, running up to Kurama. Opening parenthesis. Shukaku, there's no need for blood, yet. Gaara says, silently encouraging him. Naruto takes a sharp breath and I look down at him to see the wounds in his abdomen. Take care of them. I need to help heal Naruto-kun. I yell, gently putting Naruto on the ground. Suande comes next to me and puts her hands, which are now glowing purple with medical ninjutsu, over Naruto's stomach, and I place my hands over hers, giving her my chakra. Naruto's POV. I sigh in disappointment as I see my past memories, before stiffening. Someone starts to laugh. I suddenly wince in pain and fall down, holding out my hand to the black oblivion-looking ground. Damn it, why won't you cower? A voice says from the darkness. Fuck you. I'm not leaving Yuki-chan in that shitty world. Not all alone. Not without someone to protect her. I yell at the darkness. Deal with it. Don't be such a nuisance. It's your fault that she's in danger anyways. A person comes from the shadows. Not him again. I had enough of him last month. Damn it. Why did Jinchurikis have to have an inner hatred? I think bitterly. What do you mean it's my fault? I ask hurriedly. Well, if you hadn't dragged her along with you a year ago, she wouldn't be in the middle of this. My inner hatred yells. It's not my fault she wanted to come along. I yell in protest. You could have declined. I flinch and hang my head down in shame. See, you yourself have no comeback for that. He yells, smirking victoriously. I don't see why you torment me so. I mutter, shaking my head. Because, why not? He responds, putting his hands on his chest in triumph. You're just tormenting yourself. You told me last time, I am you, and you are me. Does that mean nothing? I yell, raising my head up to glare at him. I fall to the ground and bite the inside of my cheek, trying to stop myself from screaming in pain. Well, will you look at that? Looks like you'll die soon. He says slyly. So, will you? I say back, huffing. Yes, but it's worth watching you suffer. He says, holding his hands out in a mocking way. I'm sorry, Yuki. Tsunade. Sasuke. Jiraiya. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold out. I think, trying not to close my eyes. Looks like it's over. He smirks before gaining a disturbed look. Oh, that's a shame. It seems they managed to free us after all. Maybe you'll die before they get a chance to heal you. He mutters sadly. I smirk in satisfaction before groaning in pain. I guess. I'll see you next time. You feel like tormenting me, then? I ask, my voice growing raspy. He looks at me in surprise and then he shows a nice, kind smile. You better live then, he mutters, and I slowly close my eyes. Yukiheim's POV, another 10 minutes later. As I help Tsunade heal Naruto-kun, I look around to see Orochimaru, Obito and Zetsu beaten and everyone catching their breath. Naruto groans in pain, resulting in everyone's heads turning towards us. Shish, it's okay. You're fine, Naruto-kun, I say, caressing his cheek once more and kissing his forehead. Yuki, he mumbles, wincing a bit in pain. Wow, he wakes up fast. Sasuke says, running over with the others. Naruto's eyes slowly flutter open and he closes them, wincing from the bright light. Naruto. Gaara nods towards him. Gaara, he says, his voice raspy. Shush, don't talk too much. I say, running my hand through his hair. He slowly embraces the touch, flinching in pain every so often. I look at Kurama to see him in his fox form again. He comes up to us and nudges Naruto, who slowly and painfully smiles. Naruto slowly groans before closing his eyes gently. I pick him up, placing him on Kurama. Let's take you home. I groan as I gently open my eyes. I quickly shut them, wincing at the bright light, before slowly opening them again. I look around to see white walls, check. Yuki laying on my chest, check. Bright light, check. Yep, I'm in a hospital. I look down to see Yuki quietly sleeping on my chest. I smile softly at her and raise my free hand to stroke her hair. I hear her mumbling something, so I listen in. Naruto-kun, she murmurs, resulting in me smiling once again. I gently lift her head as her eyes slowly flutter open. I look at her and she drowsily looks back. We stare at each other for a while before her eyes grow wide and she gasps. Morning, I say cheekily. You cheeky little. She growls before jumping up to me, kissing me straight on the lips, and I kiss her back. She starts to cry a bit and I use my now free hands to wipe away her tears. Come on, don't cry, I say in a soothing tone, and she breaks the kiss, looking at me in worry. How can I not cry when you've been asleep for 5 days? She yells, shocking me. 5? Wow, must have had a nice nap, I say, grinning stupidly. Shut up, she says, kissing me once more. I kiss back, but take my eyes off her and hit the nurse button next to the ECG. It's the heart monitor thingy. After a few minutes, footsteps can be heard coming towards the door and 3 people come in. I look to the door to see Tsunade, Sakura and Shizune opening the doors. They look at me and Yuki, who somehow managed to lay down next to me so she could cuddle. And I am currently sitting up staring at them. What's this about me being out of it for 5 days? I ask, raising my brow, and suddenly Tsunade leaps towards me, enveloping me in a hug. Ow, ow, ow. Crushing me here, I say, making her release me. Sorry, I was just worried. She replies sheepishly. It's fine, I say, waving my hand. Tsunade suddenly looks towards the other two and glares at them. Shizune, Sakura, what are you two standing there for? Go get everyone. Tsunade yells at the staring Sakura and Shizune. Hi, they reply, running off. I sweat drop at them. Nice to be awake again, I mutter sarcastically. Tsunade turns towards me and puts her hands over my abdomen, her hands glowing green. She nods to herself. You seem to be fine, she says. You're going to make me stay in this boring room for a few days, aren't y'all? I say, sighing heavily. Of course, she says, looking at me weirdly. I groan in response and flop back down on the bed. I hate hospitals, I say, feeling like banging my head on a wall. You always did. I guess some things never change, she says, smiling slightly, and we both sigh, taking in the moment. For youth, I hear a distant voice yell, breaking the mood. I sweat drop and look at Tsunade, who is also sweat dropping. I don't want to know, do I ask, and she shakes her head in response. Naruto. I look towards the door, again, to see Sasuke. Hi, I say, waving again, going towards the more emo side of me. Damn it, you bastard. Do you know how fucking worried I was? He yells, growing a tick mark, and I sweat drop at him, before sitting up once more. The hell, how did you become a Tsunade? I yell at him and he twitches in response. Hey, I take offense to that. Tsunade yells, hitting me gently on the head. And I begrudgingly rub my head. Naruto. Yuki mumbles, once again asleep. I look towards her before turning towards Tsunade. How long was she sitting by me? I ask, my voice taking a dangerous tone. The whole time, Tsunade says, gulping, looking terrified. Damn it, Yuki. Anytime I get injured you always do this. Why can't you calmly sleep instead? Kami forbid. I grumble angrily. Sasuke shakes his head in amusement, and moves to sit down in one of the empty chairs. Naruto. I look towards where Sasuke was standing before to see everyone. Well, you weren't kidding when you said to get everyone, I say, sweat dropping and looking towards Tsunade to see her doing the same. Finally, do you know how fucking worried I was? I swear to Kami I will. I cut him off and rub my head in pain. And it seems Kurama has gone into mother hen mode. I mutter, growling under my breath. Mother hen mode? Kurenai asks, confused yet slightly intrigued. He yells at me for putting myself in danger, and after an hour of yelling he stops. Either by Sokutni bashing his head in or by me bashing his head in. I say, resulting in multiple sweat drops, from everyone but Jiraiya. Which do you think it will be this time, kid? Jiraiya asks, resulting in me gaining a thoughtful look. Both, I say, nodding my head in confirmation. Everyone's sweat drops become larger. I'm glad you didn't get yourself killed. Gaara says, walking into the room. Shut up, I playfully. No, I stare at him and he stares back. We look at each other once more before smiling and chuckling at each other. Pick up top for Gaara's smile. Well, we're glad you're okay and finally awake. Sakura says, shyly, looking down. I look at Sakura, my face showing signs of sadness. Hey Sakura? I ask nervously. Sakura looks up hopefully. Yes? She asks, equally nervous. Sorry I yelled at you that time. I was kinda pissed, but I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I say, looking down, in shame. She probably won't forgive me, but at least she knows. Kid, listen to me, damn it. I forgive you, she says, making me look up wide-eyed. I look at her for a single trace of lies but see none. I smile brightly at her before looking towards Jiraiya, who is sniffling. So sweet. Damn it, he says, magically bringing out a tissue. I sweat drop. Nice one, Jiraiya. You ruined the moment. THSTA all for now. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments.